Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 35-year-old from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. 7th round draft pick of the Minnesota Wild. Got him down at 6'8", 249. We'll have to get an update. His hockey journey took him to Canada, the USA, and Scotland. A staple of the Chilliwack Chiefs and Tri-City Americans. A champion with the Campbell River Storm in the VIJHL, and laced up for 46 AHL games and also got 0 points in that league, like yours truly. And in the East Coast, 285 games played, 23 points and 726 penalty minutes. But he is best known for his time with the Edinburgh Capitals, where his first year ran amok, 29 points in 45 games, 134 penalty minutes, and once played with a broken arm, I'm pretty sure, and was the Reggie Dunlop. Welcome to the shed, Riley Emmerson.
What's up, Wally? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey, man. So
yeah, you can. I was gonna say you can definitely update the old weight. I'm definitely over 3 bills now, buddy.
Are you over 3 bills, eh?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when I guess I get into how we know each other, and I guess the last time and the only time I've really got to hang out with you, I was quite overweight myself. It was at nuptials there in Niagara on the lake. You remember that? I also did the worm that night. Do you remember the worm?
Yeah, I think did you throw your back out that night too, or?
Well, it was carrying a bit of extra weight in the front. It's going through some dark times.
Oh, it was fun. That was a good time. It was awesome to get to hang out with all you guys, and
that was you had just retired yourself, eh?
Yeah, that was just right after I retired. Yeah, Jen and I made the trip out to old Niagara, and we were able to just catch up with a lot of friends. So it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is the night we got to know each other, and what I just realized, the research team just saw. We played the exact same seasons of professional hockey. We started the same year and ended the same year.
Yeah, that's why we have such a strong connection when we're always together, eh, buddy?
Well, it's only been one time, but I had a great time.
Oh, we were dancing machines that night. Holy.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I had a sweat on. But you get big and little sexy on the dance floor, right? And start cutting rug. Look out, Girl Scouts.
Heck yeah, hell yeah. I like that name.
Well, sorry, you can't have it. That's me and Justin Kelly and Beatingheim. So anyways, moving on. The other way we know each other, and the reason I knew we would get along so well is you were playing for Edinburgh when I was in Cardiff, and after games, you would always be meeting Marty, the GOAT. And when you're friends with Marty, you're friends with me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had the pleasure of playing with Joey in Toledo, and we always stayed in touch. And he was in Stockton when I was over in my Ontario and on Utah days. So it was great seeing him there, and he was a pleasure to play with, and he was terrible to play against because he was so freaking good. But and then when he was over in Cardiff, he picked us apart every game. Even though I think we had our number when we played Cardiff, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, well, I only played, I guess, one of those years against you, but we'll get into all that. But did you or did you not play a game with a broken arm?
Yeah, I broke it against Manchester my second year when I was player head coach there. Pacha actually, Omar got me by accident with a cross checked, and something didn't feel right. We were short. We were at Edinburgh with short players. We had like 12 skaters. Weird, and I was like, okay, well, can't just go down short-handed enough. So
not when you're the head coach and you got no players.
No. Exactly. And I couldn't even move my arm. Like, I remember I was skating with my arm behind the back, and I was just poke checking and trying to block shots on the PK like crazy. And I know the next game we played Cardiff, we played you guys the next day. I think we lost like 2 or 3-1, but I remember I was in a cast in a sling the next day, and that was my year. And I was just like pretty much knew in my mind this is probably gonna be my last year of hockey.
Other thing I remember about that, and another reason why I know you, is I think it might have been that night. You're the head coach. You guys bus from Edinburgh to Cardiff. Your son was with you and was taking the bus back, and he was like a toddler, right?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I had Jen and Liam flew out to Manchester, and then Jen stayed back in Cardiff, and I was able to take Liam on the bus home with me. It was kind of unfortunate I had a broken arm, but Jen had a couple of the girlfriends she was friends with on the Cardiff team, so she wanted to stay out and kind of just reminisce with the girls, and so she stayed out, and I got to take Liam back on the bus, and he had his iPad and he was watching Paw Patrol, and everyone.
So he wasn't into the game of Schnarps or anything.
Oh no.
The boys weren't letting him swipe right on whatever those apps are. Those guys were.
No, a couple more years and he'll be all over that. But he was only 3. I think he was only two or 3 at the time, so it was kind of a little rough. But he got to eat his McDouble and watch some Paw Patrol on the way home, and he had a great time.
No, I thought it was awesome because I remember it because we were around the same age and we both had kids around the same age. And I came out after the game at the Big Blue Tent and we were chatting, having a beer. You're with Marty. And then you're like, yeah, my kid's getting on the bus and we got a bed set up. And yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
that's
good
hockey.
To go.
That's
it was
hockey.
Awesome. It was a great time. I was able to bring him on the road this year with the team I'm coaching now. We went up to Kamloops for a game. So he got to bus up and be one of the boys, and he's 8 now, so it's pretty crazy. He might be taller than you soon, Wally, so look out.
He might actually be taller than me already. You probably have tall kids.
Yeah, he's Liam's 8. He's 4'11". He's a monster, and Lachlan just turned 4, and he's just a monster. He's crazy. The kid doesn't. He's me. He just doesn't stop.
Dear.
I'm surprised he isn't in here trying to kick the crap out of me yet.
He's big. He's gonna be big and mean. Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
See, I didn't find you that mean. You were big, but I didn't find you that mean.
No, I was a lover then.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, okay. Other reasons how we know each other. Fighting Lee Salters. So you sent a picture for your poster of fighting my buddy Saltz, who comes up on the pod a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He said I asked him about it. He said he fought you a few times and has a lot of respect for you. So there you go.
Oh yeah, we fought twice when he was in Braehead and or Glasgow now, but man, he was a strong boy, but he was just like the typical power forward. Like if he was playing in this day and age, like if he was 10 years younger, he'd probably be in the NHL right now. He's the new wave of player, and he's it's just unfortunate. He could score, he could play, he could fight, he could do everything, and he was awesome. I remember when I took over in Edinburgh, I was like, Salty, you want to come to Edinburgh? He's like, how much can you offer? Where are you going? He's like, I might go to Cardiff. I'm like, I'm not even close to that range, buddy.
No, I actually remember they brought him to Cardiff and he was supposed to be out on my line. And I played one game with him, the very first exhibition game. I'm like, this guy is the best hockey player I've ever played with. And then he had injuries like the rest of that season. But how big he was, he could take it to the net. He was good looking. Good gosh. Right.
He kind of did look like Thor a little bit. He was a good looking dude.
Oh, still is
good looking. Yeah,
he's aging well. Check out his pod, folks. I got a YouTube channel. You can see what he looks like now too. Fantastic. And we're gonna set up a pod. I'm gonna grow my hockey spider web as Saltz and I are gonna put together a Glasgow clan reunion, and he's gonna get Keith, Mizey, and Frank the Tank, who all have been podders other than Keith. So that'll be a fun one, you know?
Oh, those are good. I know Mizey. I played with Mizey in Rochester, and
great dude, eh?
Yeah, me and Maddie live 20 minutes from each other, and
right now you do?
Yeah, Matt Keith, right? You're talking about?
Yeah. So go knock on his door. Tell him we're gonna be bugging him soon. I guess he already knows that he's in.
he's in Langley. He's doing awesome. And then Frank the Tank, he's just a gem. So he was 16 when I was in Cowichan, and he played with my brother, so he's a beauty.
You were in Cowichan.
So
When did I
no,
didn't-
my brother was there, and I was 15 or 16 at the time, so I got to meet him there. So I didn't end up going there. Went to Chilliwack.
How tall are you? Are you actually 6'8"?
I'm like 6'7" and 3/4, 6'8". You gotta exaggerate a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I tried to get I tried to get away with 5'8" or 5'9", man. There's no way that's true.
you played like you're 6'8" though, so it was awesome.
Oh yeah, real jack in the box. So, question: where and what are you doing now? You're by Langley, then?
Yeah, I'm living in Abbotsford, BC here. After I retired, my parents own a gravel pit here, so with a bunch of partners. So I figured if I'm gonna be a part owner one day, I might as well know what the heck's going on there. So I'm jumping around site from site, running heavy duty machinery, and it's a gravy easy gig, and I've got to know all about the business. And after work hours, I get to coach hockey too. I'm coaching U15 in the U15 AAA leagues, the Valley West Giants, and they're like the BC Elite Hockey League. We're kind of trying to rival academies out here. Academies kind of took over minor hockey.
So your kids aren't on that?
Oh no, yeah, no. Liam's only in H4, like U9.
Yeah, so you're just
Liam,
coaching kids. And what have you gone up with this team or?
With my U15 team, no. I've been there for 3 years now, and we're just starting to rival academies. So I don't know. Do you guys have any academies out in Ontario yet or no?
Not my area.
No, so we're academies kind of just like they're like these high schools that put these like super programs together, and they can pull kids from like all these BC teams. There's like 6 academies in the lower mainland of British Columbia here. They can pull kids from everywhere. Like, and my little program we can pull from 4 cities, and for me that's Cloverdale, Semiahmoo, Surrey, and North Delta. And we actually have a really good team this year, and I was able to keep a lot of players within our program. And it's this kid's WHL draft year as well this year, so we've been going to a couple big tournaments. We're in a big one in Calgary, and we go to one in Edmonton in a couple weeks here. So it's fun, and for me as a coach, I just try to get these kids ready to go to junior hockey and let them know what it's really about. And it's not all sunshine and gravy, and nothing's given to you. You got to earn everything every day. And if you think you're going to go in and play on the first line as a 16-year-old, I don't see any Connor McDavid's here. And that's just what I let them know. So other than that, and being a dad, and coaching Liam, who's in H4, he goes into rep hockey next year if he's good enough. He's skates like me, so we could be hooped. But he's great. He's a fantastic swimmer. He's doing unbelievable. And Lachlan is 4. He just started skating. He's doing like these pre-can skate things, and he's having a blast. And I'm just enjoying that. So I'm real busy with hockey after work. But my wife does a fantastic job keeping the house in line and keeping everyone in line and keeping me in check. So it's been great. So this little Christmas break's been kind of nice. I've been able to step away from hockey a little bit and just be a dad, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're putting in that much time and coaching a team that's not your kid's age group, you got to be getting compensated a bit.
Yeah, we get for our zone programs, we get like $15,000 for the year. Plus some gas money, so it's nothing crazy. These academy coaches, they make it their full-time job. Like some of these guys make like $80,000 to $100,000 a year to coach the same thing I do, literally.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this stuff.
It's for me, it's like, that's a lot of money. Maybe to make the job.
And the weird part is when you like doing it, right? And like when you're like at the age I'm at right now, so they're 2011s and 2012s, and they're like under 11s, and they're sponges, and like they'll listen to anything you say.
I got a 2013 group with Liam's age group, and they're so much fun, man. They're awesome, and they don't tire out. They work their ass off, and it's great to see. So,
well, I could see you doing a great job because you seem like a beauty of a dad when I saw you having your kid on the team bus, and you with what the Capitals were giving you financially with a budget, which we should get into. We may as well do that right now. But how well your teams played for you, and you had guys buy in, and I thought you did a great job those 2 years, or what, it was a 1 year as that player coach, but I thought you were a very good pro coach. So I'm sure you're doing fine with the kids.
Yeah, yeah. Edinburgh was fun. It was a challenge and it was something new. And, I maybe bit off a little bit more than I could chew, just coming from a first year into a first year head coach. Like maybe I should have transitioned to like an assistant, but at the first start of the year, like we had an unbelievable roster. We brought a lot of really good players in: Ryan Hayes, Paul Zanette, Trevor Gerling. We had Kyle Bigos on D, and Craig McCallum and Carson Chubak. Like we were really good. If we could have kept, and Everett Sheen, like that was the one that killed me. Like Everett Sheen left, he was my captain, and like he when he
When your captain leaves,
yeah, it sucks. And when you get on the bus to go to Belfast in the morning and 7 or 8 players are riding in the owner's car with the owner, and there's fans on the bus, and it's 8 a.m. and half of them are shit faced by 8, and the players are trying to rest for a game. These guys from North America has never seen it before.
there were fans on the bus.
Yeah, Scotty
hold on. Thresher, Belgian wet beer, Bayfield Brewing Company.
I got
folks, don't forget to email them and let them know that you are supporting the shed and what it means to you, and that you really want them to continue to be my sponsor in 2022. BayfieldBrewing.com or something. Okay, don't let them know. Send them an email that you want them to keep giving me free beer. Really need it, please, folks.
So Scotty would sell like 10 to 12 or 8 to 12 seats on the bus,
like to have the experience with the team.
Yeah, and they would come on the bus and they would bus with us to games, and they get tickets and to the game, and they bus home. And I don't know how much he charged him, but he was the one trip we had, the one thing to Belfast, we had a lot of fans and we didn't have enough seats for some of our British guys. So we drove with, we wanted to make sure every player had their own seat and no one got to double up. And our captain was like, they're all trying to rest on the bus, and all you hear is, broken cider bottles or beer bottles, and all the fans are getting hammered at 8 a.m. And I'm just like, this isn't a good start. And I tried to talk to him and tell him, hey, I don't know about this, man. Like, we got a pretty legit team. Let's, but I think that's part of the way that Scott and the Capitals made money. They made money off of that. So I don't know how much they charge these fans to come on the bus, but they made income from it, and they needed all the income they could get.
Yeah, I guess. So, and you did as the coach, you needed them to get income so you could, like, where I heard stories of guys like not getting sticks or whatever. It's like, what was all going on around there financially while you were there?
Well, he wouldn't like Scotty wouldn't order, each guy a bunch of sticks or this or that. He would order a stick at a time, so for me, equipment wise, he just ran it day by day. And if he broke a stick, he'd have maybe 1 or 2 reserves, or and that's not how it is anymore, man. That's not how you run a pro team. Like,
yeah, well, you can't. Yeah, you can't.
No, you can't. Like, we had a player on our team who liked to tape his he liked to break down his whole stick, like all his tape, his knob tape, everything, his stick tape, like, and he redid everything every period, every game. That was his superstition, and it was a great one. Like, he taped his thing. I think he taped his blade every period, and then he taped his knob every game. Like, you think
that's a great thing?
No, he scored fucking a shit ton of goals. So of course, sorry for my language.
No, but that you can say whatever you want. But I just find that a bit. I guess you could call it OCD. That was his thing.
Yeah, that was his OCD. But he scored, so you don't complain if you got a guy scoring. So.
Well, no, you got to keep them happy, and if they want to tape their stick a bunch of times, you let them tape their stick.
Yeah, and then Scott's like, he's using too much tape. He's not allowed. It's not in the budget. We don't have the money. I'm like, well, he's getting a goal or 2 a game for you right now. He can pretty much do what the hell he wants.
Right.
So, yeah. But
okay, what's the weirdest superstition you saw? Because I know mine. While you think about it, played with a guy in Beatingheim that thought he'd get garbage goals if he put his stick by the toilet in between periods.
I had a guy in Utah who would strip down to absolutely nothing, go and jump in the cold tub, kind of like Patrick Marleau, all those guys would do. He would strip down and butt naked, run over, jump in the cold tub for 3 minutes, jump out, dry off, put his gear back on, be ready for intermission talk. It's like,
And all I would need to do is just fucking breathe. Sorry for my language, but like in between periods, my face would be bright red, and I'd be like, "Please stop talking to me until the next period starts."
I would usually always take my skates off and have to go jump on the bike to get all fucking lactic acid out because I've been sitting so much.
That was my AHL career. I got on the bike between periods a few times. Oh yeah, make it look good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So did you grow up in Abbotsford?
Yeah. I was born in Burnaby, grew up in Abbotsford. Yeah.
Okay. How big's Abbotsford? They got an AHL team, right?
Yeah, we just got the Abbotsford Canucks. 200,000, 100 to 200,000. I don't know.
That's pretty decent size. Yeah.
Yeah. We're a big farming community, lots of berries and
what are you farming? Like berries?
Yeah, they do raspberries, blueberries are huge here. Stuff like that. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. So then minor hockey to the Campbell River Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I never played AAA hockey at all growing up until my last year Bantam. That would be my 15-year-old year. So kind of like it'd be next year for the age group I'm coaching this year. But I played 1 year AAA hockey my last year and just went to juniors, and both my brothers were playing junior A at the time, and I kind of just they both were big, like 6'4", 6'2", and they both fought, and I kind of just knew I was gonna have to fight. So went to like this global scouting camp in the summer and went and fought some 20-year-old when I was 15 and beat the shit out of them. And had an invite to every dub team, and then never got drafted in the Western League, but I got listed by Kelowna pretty quick, and then one of their big scouts, Ed Kingston, who actually just passed away, wanted me to go to Campbell River. So I signed in the Vancouver Island Junior League as a 16-year-old and got to experience my first year of junior hockey, which was awesome. So.
And you guys win the championship?
Yeah, we were stacked, man. Campbell River was so good, man. They ran their program better than Edinburgh did.
Yeah. No, if you're winning championships, then usually it's a well-run ship, right?
Yeah, it was really well ran. We practiced every morning at 7 a.m. and 7 a.m. practices keeps the older guys kind of in check, and they're able to work in the afternoon if they wanted to pick up an afternoon shot and shift and kind of go from there. So it was awesome.
So then why'd you leave there to where is Campbell River? I don't know where that is.
It's kind of like past Nanaimo, and it's on Vancouver Island.
See, I don't know. I've never been out that way.
Victoria. It's like a couple hours from Victoria. It's like on the north side of Vancouver Island.
So that year when you guys win it, sorry for burping the mic again, but when you're like 15, 16, you're fighting a bunch of 20-year-olds because you got 151 penalty minutes when you're like 15, 16.
Yeah, I didn't fight that too many times. I had 5 or 6 fights that year. Just kind of got my feet wet, and I was 6'4.5", 6'4" at the time. So like I was one of the biggest guys in the league at 16. So
have you ever fought someone my size?
I thought John Morasky was like 5'10" and he kicked the shit out of me. But
where'd you fight him?
He was in Syracuse. I was in Raj.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but I didn't have to fight much when I was 16. I just got, I was playing defense at the time, and I just got to play, and the fight came about. I would fight and kind of just get my feet wet. But that next year I jumped to Chilliwack, and it was a higher league. Like I went from junior B to junior A. Like junior Chilliwack Chiefs is like where that Kent Johnson came from before I went to Michigan State and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, Chilliwack Chiefs. So you're there for a year and a bit, and then so basically though, you're not even playing AAA or anything growing up, and then you get to junior and you're fighting. But like, how much ice time are you getting to actually develop as a player?
It was hit and miss. Sometimes I'd play a lot. Sometimes I'd make a mistake and then I'd fucking barely play. But yeah, I didn't. I never really got a chance to sit and really like just play a shit ton. To tell you the truth, the first time where I really got just to play a ton of hockey was in Edinburgh.
Right.
My last 2 years of my hockey career was when I actually got to sit and like play hockey.
And
Like, so,
I could see how that happens, like with like how big you are and the way hockey was when we got into pro. Like you don't have many other options, right? Like you're gonna have to
yeah,
fight.
exactly. So yeah, and I just knew my role and just stuck with it. And when a fight came about, I would know if I needed to protect a teammate, I'd just do it. So, and I was always the guy. Like when I was 16, I was that guy. When I was 17, it was me and a couple guys. When I was 18, it was the same thing. Like I never really had anyone to really like mentor me ever. It was always just thrown to the wolves and go figure it out. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
interesting life, eh? Like
yeah,
just like
crazy.
hockey players, how different their lives can be and getting ready for a game. Like I I mean, I dabbled into like not having the odd shift and then feeling like I should go out and fight in the AHL. But like other than that, like I was always playing a lot, right? And like yeah, I was never
Mm.
thinking about fighting anybody.
Yeah, for me, it was just hopefully if I get my first shift and they're top guys on the ice, don't make a mistake because I won't play again.
Yeah.
Um, so um, it was tough because the East Coast League they play 10 forwards and that's like
So then they're putting a fighter at the 10
you know
forward and then they're
so
not
then
really
they're like
mixing you in.
and it's like they say it's a developmental league. Like as a coach, like I have 11 forwards on my Bantam team. It's hard to manage 11 forwards.
I
It
agree.
breaks
That's
up
what I
line
have.
like
Or no, that's not what I
it's
have.
like
I
so
have
it's just like
8.
it's way but your kids are freaking 12 or 9 and 10 or whatever it is or 11 and 12, sorry. But like if you're able to play 4 lines where you can build chemistry and you just roll your lines and not worry about it, like it's easy. Like it's so much easier, in
I
my
I always
opinion.
find as a coach is when you get the lead and you just can just roll the lines, it's like you're in control of the game and you're
Yeah.
dictating it. And then when you're losing is when you got to start looking for answers. And that's when things
Mhm.
start changing. At least that's when I can't just roll the lines, right?
With me coaching now, I try not to sit any players. I try to roll the lines all the time and special teams. Sorry, I just burped in my mic too.
Yeah,
It's
no, you're
contagious.
allowed to burp in the
Um,
mics on this, buddy.
I'll,
Editing team will get it after.
I usually just try to special teams is usually where I cut it down at the end. But yeah, but growing up, it was just I knew what my role was and I had to do it, and that was, and I didn't mind it. I would trade it for the world. So
No, I know, and you'd be good at it. There's certain guys I played with, right, that knew when to do it and like had
yeah.
the right times, like when the team needed it or when a
Mm.
player needed it. Like if I got roughed up as a scorer, like having a guy like you come in and help a guy out and be like, no, we're here with you. We got you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It means a lot.
Or if they're trying to get on your case, it's just skate over and spare their best player in the throat or whoever it was. Like I never really had to do that. Um, I was pretty fortunate when usually the guys I played, the teams I played against who had tough guys, like we all knew each other and we all knew like, okay, like we'll get our shit done and then let's just play hockey. Like, if it gets out of hand, then we'll try to step in and take care of it. But I
You
never really
guys
had
also
any.
talk a lot, right? In between whistles or like when
Yeah,
things are
usually.
happening. Like usually,
Yeah,
unless there's the odd real
yeah.
psychopath out there, but like
There's a couple psychopaths. I crossed a couple psychopaths around, but I got like there's this one guy in Bakersfield. I fought him like 9 times in like a year. Is as Eric Lizon. Like him and I like it's just like fuck, like are we done fighting each other? Like we're both like just like beat the
so
shit
who
everywhere.
he's the one initiating it, or were
No,
you?
no, we just fought to fought because we like fighting. It was fun, and he was tough as fuck, so it was always a good challenge for both of us. Like we all like either he'd win or I'd win or it'd be a draw. And
uh,
I remember once like
and the
we
fans wouldn't be excited at all, eh?
oh we just fucking pound each other. Then finally, I remember one day like the whole backside of my head was all bruised and like I couldn't even move my neck, and then his whole face, like his nose was broken, and he had like two raccoon black eyes, and we just like looked at each other, and I was like, "Are we done fighting each other?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think we're done." Oh, fuck. He was supposed to go to Nottingham or something like that, but he ended up not going. Too
Oh
bad.
man. Well,
He was, oh,
right when we were in the UK, that was when there were some big boys in the UK, wasn't there?
fuck yeah, there was fucking fighting fucking Westgarth. Holy fuck.
And you're trying to be the player coach.
Oh yeah.
Like seriously
Yeah.
though, like there's player coaches and what they got to deal with, but then you're also the heavyweight on the team.
Yeah, well, I had Kyle Flemington, who's actually a linesman in the NHL now. He could chuck him pretty good, and Kyle Bigos was a big boy. He could hold his own, and Paul Zanette was pretty tough. So like we didn't really need to fight. We were just a fucking good team until everyone quit, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, well, so were they quitting because they weren't getting paid, or what?
No, they all got paid. They all got paid. It was just a fucking shitty situation. So the rink was a dump. The dressing room was a dump. They didn't treat it like a professional team. They treated it worse than junior clubs in the Western Hockey League. Like it was ran poorly.
Okay.
And like the people who wanted to make it happen worked their ass off. There's like a fair share, like 3 or 4 or 5 guys who work so fucking hard to try to make this place run every day. And just I like Scott Neal was a great guy. He was awesome. He just didn't have the financial backing to be able to rent a bus to an away game to Dundee or to Fife or to we would drive with like booster club members.
Yeah.
We would pile all the bags into a van, and 5 vehicles would show up and pick up 4 or 5 guys in each vehicle, and then we pile into a fucking SUV and drive to Carta or drive to.
Well, and then as the coach and you're trying to recruit players or whatever, like when you can't recruit the players you want, which you obviously did a really good job bringing those guys in, but like when you can't give the guys what you want to give them, that's got to be tough.
And it was tough too, because like guys didn't get vehicles. Like they were expected just to get to the rink on their own with no ride. Like, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll get you guys transit passes." And the transit there was awesome. So I was like, "Hey guys, like I did it last year. It was really easy. It's a lot of freedom. It's great." And then the second year, "Oh yeah, we have no transit passes." I'm like, how the hell are these guys supposed to get around? They're like, "Oh, they'll figure it out." I'm like, "What do you mean they'll fucking figure it out? They're coming from the other fucking continent." And there was one guy. There was one guy helping me recruit who, in my opinion, lied to a lot of players. And I was like, straight up, like, this is how it is. But this guy was telling these guys, like, "Oh, this is how it's going to be. This is going to happen." And none of it happened. And when none of it happened, all these guys are like, "Peace out. See you later."
Right. Because
like,
you're giving them.
Sucked.
Yeah, that does suck.
It sucks. Because Edinburgh is such a sick city. Like if they had a nice facility, like if you put Braehead's a rink in Edinburgh, like that'd be the best fucking place to play in the UK.
And then you'd be rocking and roll. Everybody would want to go there, right? Because it's
100%, because it's a great facility. It's awesome to go to, and then everyone's going to want to go there. And it's a sick city. It's an unbelievable city.
So, yeah, no, it makes sense. Who's gonna take over the Edinburgh Capitals? Like
no one, they're done, buddy.
No, I'm saying like Todd Kelvin with the Devils. Like someone could.
I don't even think
rise from the ashes.
I think their rink shut down. I think they're down, buddy. Oh yeah, I think it's all gone. Wow. See you later, alligator. I'm not too sure on that, so don't quote me.
Wow, I don't know. Okay, so you were at the Chilliwack Chiefs, then you went to the Tri-City Americans. And folks, just so you know, his your internet's down, right, folks? So this is the new idea, right? We raised money for my friends, the Mearses, after the car accident, and we've raised $1,700. And then I spent $100 to ship the jersey. So we're going to give them $1,600 like in the next day or two. And I'm going to take it over their house with a 2 Ales and Hockey Tales hat. I'm going to give them some cash. And thank you to everybody that's made that happen. So my next idea, you can tell me I'm selfish and I'm a dickhead. That's cool. But I'm going to see if I can make money for myself this time. And I'm making 2 Ales and Hockey Tales jerseys. And I've sold most of them. There's going to be 3 left. I'm going to raffle those 3 off. We're starting with the first one. They're going to be £1 a ticket. You can buy a ticket if you want the jersey or not. And whoever wins the jersey, it's going to be on the website, aleshockeytales.com. And it's £1 a ticket. And you'll be one of the only 20 people in the world that has a 2 Ales and Hockey Tales hockey jersey. So there you go. 17 prepaid ones. You guys are the lucky folks that support the pod, and you guys get one of the 20. Right?
Are you gonna make it authentic by wearing it after a night out, so it's got that real 2 Ales Hockey Tail stench with it?
I think I'll wear it, dump a beer on my head. But no, seriously, because if Emo's internet is cost him a lot, then if we make some money on this jersey raffle, then we can support his internet bill.
Well, no, you gotta elaborate on that. Is I'm running on my data on my phone because we have no internet here or Wi-Fi or cable because a huge storm just went through BC and just wiped everything out for where I'm living right now. It's not like it's like minus like 18 out here right now.
I can't believe how good you sound and like you look compared to people that are paying for Wi-Fi.
I got good 5G up here too. So, and I'm just a good looking human being. So what's up?
I've seen you. I've seen you hit a dance floor. I know exactly how you can move. Oh yeah. Yeah. When you zig, I zag. Okay. Tri-City Americans. I was like, okay, that's cool. You're late to the party, the WHL, but you do end up there after the Chilliwack Chiefs. But the research team did find that you had a goalie on that team, eh?
Hey, he's pretty good. He's all right.
Is he doing all right? How's his career going?
He's probably one of the best goalies to ever play in the National Hockey League.
So your goalie was Carey Price for 2 years?
It sure was. Yeah, sure was, buddy.
Cool. That's cool.
You know that year that Carey got drafted 5th overall, I got drafted 199th, buddy. That's pretty awesome.
And you're on the same team.
Yeah. What's up?
Holy moly, eh? So yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. Seriously.
But
hey, and you got drafted. I never got drafted. Nobody even looked at me.
You want to know the more impressive thing about that was, bud? I had 0 points.
0 points in the 7th round?
Yeah.
That's hockey.
Hey, you got to be a damn good hockey player to get drafted with 0 points. That's how good I was. Way to go, Minnesota. You really thought that one through.
Well, like, I mean, I don't know. I could see why they did it, man. They're like, you could play though. Like, your first year in the UK, 29 points in 45 games. That's nothing to shake a stick at.
Well, because they finally let me play. Richard Hartman actually just let me play hockey, and it was fantastic.
And you were standing in front of the net on the power play, right?
If I wasn't getting suspended for fucking clean hits, well, 1 clean hit, but we'll talk about that later.
No, talk about it now. I don't know what you're talking about.
What the fuck? Where were you in your life? My very first game in the UK.
If it didn't happen to me, I don't give a shit.
we played Belfast, and my very first shift, puck gets dumped into my corner, I was on the forecheck, and I just fucking murdered this guy with a hit. Like,
you're playing forward?
Oh yeah, I played forward, and I just murdered this defenseman with a huge clean. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like if I know.
Did you always play forward?
When I went to Tri-Cities, I got transferred to a forward. They switched me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
so you killed a guy, and then how long did you get suspended?
The league gave me a 10-game suspension.
Your first game there.
Very. There wasn't even a penalty on the play. Wasn't even a penalty. Like,
do you think it's because you're 6 foot?
Well, it's
7 3/4.
The Belfast people were so mad that a player from Edinburgh dictated the play of a game.
Right.
They called and said, we want to get this hit reviewed.
Yep.
And then it was like the second shift of the game, and the video guy in Edinburgh, because it wasn't the best run place, hadn't pressed the record button, so they missed it all. So they just gave me a 10-gamer.
Just nothing. A fast 10-gamer.
Just a 10-gamer. Just like, yeah, we're gonna give you 10 games. Like, why the fuck do I have to sit there for 10 games for a clean hit? So then the team had to like petition it, pay like £1,000. So obviously they don't have that fucking money.
No.
And then I had to drive down and meet the Tony Smith or whatever it was and explain my case. I was like, honestly, if I cheap shot a player, it's not going to be with a hit. It's going to be with my stick, and I'm going to smash his face off the fucking ice.
'Whoa, cheapers.
And that's what I told the guy. I'm like, if I'm going to do something stupid, Like, it's going to be stupid.
So the only reason it was 10 games was because the guy didn't hit record. They never could see it.
Supposedly.
So they never saw it. They gave you
No.
10 games for something they never saw.
Yeah, they never saw it. So then we petitioned it, got it reduced to 7 or reduced to 3 games. So only missed 3 games. And my first game back, we played Cardiff and I had a goal and assist. And I think we beat you guys that game. What up?
Was it a home game for you guys?
No, yes, it was, obviously.
Yeah, because you'd have beat us in Cardiff. You kidding me?
No one beat you guys in Cardiff. We got rolled every fucking game, 10-1.
Yeah. BBT. Got big Dougie Clarkson, big and like Batchy, Hendo. You ever played Hendo or any of those guys?
Yeah, I fought Hendo in Minnesota Wild training camp. He was in.
Why was he in Minnesota?
He was with Columbus. Yeah, I fought him there.
They drafted him twice.
That's how good he was.
Yeah.
They needed to make sure.
Yeah.
I know he was awesome though. He was so much fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's one of those guys that always knew when the right time was to do it, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When the team needed it.
Yeah, he's smart as hell.
So Carey Price was pretty good, but you played with him then?
Yeah, played 2 years with him. Haven't talked to him since we both went our separate ways. So obviously
that happens, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't really too close to him. We were always friendly and nice, and if I ever ran him now, we'd probably sit down and chat and whatever it is. But he was a super nice guy. He worked his ass off, and his career skyrocketed, and he had bigger fish to fry so it's, you don't want to be for me, it's just, you don't want to be a guy who's just like, oh, hey, trying to get a hold of him all the time just because he's in the show. Like,
I agree.
But he was a great human being, and he was a one hell of a fucking goaltender. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was good. He was really good.
I've seen him on television, not in real life.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He literally would tell me, like, you're never going to score on me in practice. And I never would. He was so fucking good, man. Like if I ever scored, like sometimes I get like the odd like high tip or like deflection, and he'd be pissed. I love it, and I love it. Like that's how he's goalies. But that's why he's in the NHL. Like,
and the best goalies I played with were the same way. It was their competitive spirit. It wasn't just in a game; it was in practice too. And it was it was fun though. It was fun for me to try and score on them every time I went down. And then you get the guys that are like, "It's warm up. Why'd you shoot it there? Why'd you do that?" And it's like, dude, I want to try and score on you. Can you make this fun? Like practice could be fun, or you could be a miserable little
prick.
Yeah, right. Like let's make it fun. It's a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So Tri-City Americans, you were there. So you were mainly fighting then, as a forward.
Yeah. Got shift. I think I had 9 fights my first year, and then 15 my second year. So
okay. So then, what are your pro options? You end up with Texas Wildcatters, but how? So
I was going into my 20-year-old year. I was hoping to get picked in the expansion draft in the dub. The Chilliwack Bruins came into effect, so I was like, fuck. Well, I played for the Chiefs when I was 17, and then a bunch of new owners came in and bought the Chilliwack Chiefs kind of out and bought the rights out to get a Western League team in there. So they had an expansion draft. So I was really hoping that I would get picked in that. Didn't. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go back and play junior A, like BCHL, like Langley Chiefs or whatever it was. And then Minnesota pretty much called and said, here's a contract, take it or you're done hockey.
Take it or you're done hockey. Thresher, Belgian Whip Beer, Bayfield Brewing Company. Don't forget to email them. Take it or you're out of hockey.
Yeah, or like you're not going to be able to play hockey again. Like you're going to be done. Like you're not. No one in the Western League wants you. And so I was like, okay. So I took it, and
Minnesota gave you the deal.
Yeah, so I signed pretty much my qualifying offer just to stay in hockey and get plumped in the coast and earn my way.
So then when you're in the coast, you're on an AHL deal, NHL, AHL?
No, so I was making 35 in the coast, not paying for rent or anything, didn't have a vehicle, so it was fucking unbelievable. So it was nice. So I made a little bit of money there and blew it all at the bar. So
yeah, no, I know. When you're in the coast and you're one of the guys on an AHL deal, man, you gotta get the wallet out if you go for beers.
Easy to come, hard to leave. You're
darn right. Okay, so a couple questions about the
Mhm.
Wildcatters. What town's that in?
Beaumont. It's
Beaumont,
45.
Texas. That sounds
Yeah,
like a football town.
it is. Yeah, about 45 minutes. 45 minutes from Houston.
Okay.
So, yeah,
So you liked it there? Good experience?
loved it. It was awesome. I had a great group of guys. A bunch of guys like Kevin Baker. I got a couple more minutes, bud. You can leave. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, he could come say hi. Tell him to come say hi. It's cool.
This is Lachlan.
This is
Say hi.
Lachlan.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing, buddy?
That's
Good?
I hear you're starting hockey.
You starting hockey? Yeah. And this is Liam.
Hey,
Hi.
Liam, how's it going, buddy? Yeah,
How's
you're
it
tall.
going?
You're about as tall as me already, no
Oh,
doubt.
sort of talking.
Okay, you guys gotta go.
Okay,
Go,
how much
go,
more
go,
minutes?
go, go. A little bit. Go.
Yeah, we only got 10 years of pro to get through.
Oh, they're unbelievable. Yeah, Beaumont was awesome. I had like guys like Kevin Baker, Leon Hayward, Brendan Cote, who introduced me to Matt Keith, Mike Bayrack, who played over in the UK for a bit. So I had a lot of really good veteran guys kind of to help mold me and take me under their wing. And
And how'd you end up there? How do you end up from Tri-City
they were, so I signed with Minnesota, and Beaumont was their East Coast affiliate team.
Okay. And then you do the NHL training camp. Did you get did
So
the whole thing?
I went NHL, AHL, and right to the coast. I did NHLs, then I did the AHL, then I went to that. Well, yeah, I did all three.
So when you go to the NHL training camp, do you fight anybody?
No, they wouldn't allow fighting. So I would have had to get my face punched out by Bugard. So
and Bugard you played with Tri-City.
I was Aaron, so his older brother was Derek.
Oh,
Derek was the ultimate heavyweight.
right.
So,
and Aaron, why do I know?
His younger brother.
Okay.
He played in the Cinch for a little bit, playing the East Coast League, playing the A.
Yeah, I feel like I might know him for some reason. Anyways, moving on then. Is your goalie's Anton Khudobin? Well, you're
Anton Khudobin. Yeah.
Khudobin. That's the guy that was just in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, Dallas. Fucking
Yeah.
beauty, man.
He seemed like a
too.
beauty. He looked like a guy I could get along with.
He was super nice. Didn't know the best English, but tried his hardest to get along. But he was just one of the guys, man. Like if you meet your typical Euro guys, it's like what the hell are we gonna get here? He was straight North American, legit, just awesome, unreal.
What about and Alex Levitt was on the team for a bit? Were you there with him?
Yeah, he was a beauty. He came down from he was on a deal in Houston, came down to help us out for a little bit. Silky smooth, sick on the power play. He was a good player.
Opens up the hips. He's a former Potter.
He's a beauty, man. He was so much fun, and just a dry straight shooter sense of humor, like just like kind of it's not like a cocky attitude, but it's like, yeah, I'm a good hockey player and you can fuck off, but we can be buddies.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like malicious or mean. He was just super nice, and it's actually
pretty funny.
Oh, so fucking funny, man. Like so funny.
Yeah. His podcast was pretty funny when he hit the shed. Yeah. Okay. Next question then. You're there for 2 years with the Wildcatters. Whatever. Moving on. 2008-9. You play one game for the Florida Everblades. Do you ever hit the Lonnie Kai?
What the hell was that?
You don't know what that is? That's a hotel on Fort Myers Beach.
No, I was literally there for. So Minnesota had no East Coast affiliate in my third year of my deal. So the coach from Texas that I had went to Florida. So I got reassigned to the Everblades. And I said, like, hey, like I can't play on the coast anymore. Like I'm fighting everyone. I need to get beat up. Like I won majority of my fights in the East Coast League, but I was like this. Like,
but the bigger guys were in the AHL.
Exactly. Like the heavies were in the AHL.
And you wanted that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wanted to go get challenged and see how far my career really could be. And so I went down to Florida. I was there for a little bit, and then they Rochester was their affiliate, and Steve McIntyre got picked up by Edmonton off of waivers, and they were expecting him to be in Rochester, and he didn't. So they called Minnesota and got me loaned to Rochester, and that's how I ended up there. But yeah, I was only there for a little bit. The only main reason I knew Fort Myers is when we used to kick the shit out of the Everblades all the time when I played in the Wildcatters. So great city though.
Oh yeah. Oh, when it's like when you play for the Daytona Beach Bombers in the coast, and then you go play the Everblades in Fort Myers, it's a whole different place.
We used to stay at the what's the sweets place? Like the multiple level shit.
I had
it was like they like sick continental breakfast, like you get to save your per diem because you're getting nice almonds for.
You know what? I may as well bring it up right now because this has never came up on the pod. So this is a funny story, I think.
Yeah.
We win the semifinals of the East Coast against the Florida Everblades with the Dayton Bombers. Yeah. Nobody ever would have thought we'd ever beat them in a million years. So I had gone to the outlets next door, right? Because they have nice outlets to buy cheap clothes.
In Naples, yeah.
I never buy clothes ever. And I'm so excited about my new clothes. I bought like 3 shirts and 2 pairs of jeans, and that's like a decade worth of clothes buying for me. And I get totaled after game 7, like totaled. And I left my whole suit bag and all the clothes in the rental or taxi, whatever we took to the airport. And my roommate had to help me like get ready to get to the airport. And then we got there, and then I forgot the bag. And then when we get out off the airplane in Cincinnati, I had a hard time finding the bus yet still.
So you really got told, eh?
Wow, we won game 7, semifinals, right?
True. And you guys played Cincy in the finals?
No, I played for Dayton, right? So we flew into Cincy and then bus back to Dayton. But no,
who's your goalie in Dayton?
Adam Burkle. Goalie of the year in the East Coast that year. Why we went to the finals. But anyways, all those new clothes still in the back of that rental.
Or that guy is really happy for all those new clothes you got him.
Yeah.
A really good tip.
Bet you it was a nice suit too he got. Okay. Anyway, so that's why you're on loan with Rochester. I got it. Because it said loan. That was my question mark. Why was it a loan? Because you're there like the whole year.
Yeah, I spent the whole year in Roch in the A, and definitely a step up from the East Coast League. Holy shit.
So what type of dudes are you fighting there? Do you ever fight Sugar or Mike Scroy?
No, Scroy and I never went at it. He was in Johnston and Pensacola when I was in Texas, and we never fought. He always just said no. He's like, I'm gonna go score goals, and he did. He fucking scored every game against us.
He could score. He could dangle and skate too.
Yeah. He was a fucking good hockey player. He was just a fucking nutcase.
Yeah, he was my roommate there in Syracuse there in the
it's
NHL.
Just when his wires crossed, there was no stopping him, and I love the shit he's doing now, and what he's kind of building right now down in Florida. He's doing a hell of a job.
With the UFC fighter training, like MMA.
Oh no, like the on ice stuff. Like
on ice too. He's doing both.
Unreal. Yeah,
he's doing
videos. I've taken a ton of his development stuff and tried to use it out here, and it's great shit. So he's doing a fantastic job. But yeah, I never got to fight. I never played against Sugar. I fought Morasti, Yablonsky, McMorrow, Penner, Karkner, Alex. Ryan Flynn, like I fought fucking all these heavies.
So who
Eric Nielsen, like
who beat you up the worst?
Oh, fucking Yablonsky gave it to me pretty good. Fucking it's a lose-lose fucking fighting Morasti. Like he fucking
even if you hit him, it doesn't matter.
No, he just smiles. It's like punching a brick wall. Half his punches didn't hit me, but he was tough as fuck. It was like to me, it was an honor fighting that guy. Like he's a fucking legend. But I held my own in all my fights. Like I didn't like get beat like the shit kicked out of me.
So everybody's got their own style in fighting, right?
Yeah. So
Hendo's a bit of a clutch and grabber, eh? What were you? You'd like to stretch guys out because you're long.
String them out and kind of use my little jab and go from there. But
So you jabbing with the left, holding it by their
Yeah.
chin, and then doing that
Yeah.
thing like that one?
Exactly. Yeah, jab with the left and over top of the right, and kind of try and counter. Or if I'd get in any trouble, I'd try and grab the biceps and just use my power and strength to take over from there. But other than that, I just fought just to fucking fight because it was fun. Like,
if it ever happened for me, I'd just keep skating forward and put my head in their armpit and swing up, and then hopefully they didn't actually get a hold of me.
I fought Brad Haroff. Have you ever played against Brad Haroff?
I don't think I know who that is.
He's like 5'9", 5'10". He was a good player. He's like a little shit disturber. And I was in Texas, and he was in Florida, and he was like just running our guys. I was like, Brad, I'm gonna fucking kill you. He's like, oh, he's just chirping back. He goes, all right, Riley, you know what? If you score a goal, I'll fight you. Next shift, I scored. I turned around, I skated right to his bench just to get on the ice right now. And he's like, fuck, and he jumps on the ice and we fought.
And there's that code, right? Like, and if a guy says he'll do something, he'll do it.
It was hilarious. And he was such a good guy because he was in Florida the next year. I was there, and I was only there for a little bit, but he's like, man, I'm so pumped you're on this team. And he was such a nice guy, man. He actually played a little bit in the American League too at Albany. So he was a beauty.
There's some funny stories, especially with the fighting, right? So, who's the best buddy of yours that you fought?
Matt Cassian. So him and I got drafted to Minnesota the very same year. He was 6'5", 6'6", like 240, 250, big boy. So he got drafted in the second round, and I got drafted in the seventh. And they had Bugard and they had John Scott in the organization. Like, they had 4 like legitimate heavyweights. Like, what are they doing? So Matt and I were in the East Coast League. So Matt and I, we got drafted the same year, went to rookie camp, went back to the dub. He beat the fuck out of me twice in the dub. Like, just pounded the shit out of me. And then we played in the East Coast League together. My second year, it was his first year because I signed, he played his overage year in the dub. And then we played together, and we just became like, we were friends then. Like, we were always friends and always gone along, but we came really tight when we were in the East Coast League together. And then the next year he was in Houston and I was in Rochester. So,
and it's got to happen.
And we're like, I think I had like 2 or 3 big hits at the start of the game, and it was like the second period, and I had a big hit that shift, and he's like, Riley, like, we're going. I was like, okay, like, whatever. And then their coach tries to change, and the winger's like, hey, Matt, get off. And he's like, no, I'm not getting off. I'm fighting Riley. And the guy's like, but like, coach, he was a Euro. He's like, coach, just get off. He's like, and I forget the guy's name. He's like, get the heck off the ice. I'm fighting, leave. And the guy's like, oh, and like skates back to the bench, like really awkwardly. And I'm like dying laughing. So like, we're squaring up and I'm just pissing myself laughing. And then I'm like, okay, like, I got to get focused here. This is going to kick the shit out of me again. So.
Oh man. Oh man, I miss those days of like knowing what's really going on. And when like Hendo was gonna fight, he would like talk to me, be like, so this guy said this and he said this at warm up, and this is why I got to do that, or he did this last game. And I'm like, all right.
Sure, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I support it. Okay, so then you do that. It's the end of your 3 years with Minnesota. So then you sign what, an East Coast deal?
AHL East Coast deal with Springfield, Stockton. So
the Stockton Thunder. And so you went from basically playing all AHL games, and the next year it's 46 East Coast games and 1 AHL game, but it's still the same role, same thing, just differently.
Exactly same thing. Like, no matter where I played, my role never changed. So so I played game right at the start of the year with Springy, and then they sent me down to Stockton, and then
so who's the guy that replaced you? Was there a guy that's bigger on the AHL team, or what was it?
So they had Kip Brennan, so he was pretty tough. They had Kipper, and then Matt Nickerson was on an AHL or NHL deal with Edmonton there. So I went to Edmonton's camp that year too. So I went Edmonton's camp, and then Springfield's camp, and then back down to Stockton. So they had Dean Arsene, Kip Brennan, and Matt Nickerson was there as well, but I don't think Nicker played too much in the A that year. So
yeah, I only knew him for, I think he was in Belfast, and
Fife in Belfast.
Fife, yeah. Okay. So then that year, it is what it is, right? You play in Stockton. What's it like in California?
unbelievable place to play. Actually,
I've never even been there. I don't even know what it's like.
The East Coast League team there, it's like sick, man. Like they give three or four players on the team like a sick 5-bedroom house each, like sick, like really nice houses each. And
Are you by water then?
Some guys were by water, some weren't. All gated communities. It's beautiful, like really nice area. Stockton is a little bit shady in some areas. I won't lie.
Yeah.
But where we stayed was gorgeous. A lot of house parties because you couldn't really go out. Because if you did, it's kind of shady. But
yeah.
It was we had a really good team. Like I think we went to the semifinals, the Western Conference semifinals that year, and it was awesome, man. It was such a great year.
I got a random question, and I got to ask you right now because you're 6'8", right? And you say going out on the town, is shady. Yes, I get it. I've been to some shady places too, but when you're 5'8" and kind of fat, nobody really wants to fight you. But when you're 6'8", 6'9", and that someone sees you walk into a place, there's people that also like a challenge in the real world, not just on the ice, right?
I never had that. My personality isn't like that, as you can tell.
I know that. I just didn't know if anybody
I never, or even if anyone ever did, I would talk them out of it because I'm just like, listen, bro, like,
yeah, what the
fuck would, when we were in Stockton, like we went to this one bar or this club, and it was like kind of like the blood and Crips stuff, and this one gang member came up to us and he's like, hey, like, I'm just gonna be straight up, like, I know you guys aren't from here. You're a bunch of Canadian hockey players, and you guys are crazy. You play on the ice, you're all nuts. But if you guys don't leave and your buddy doesn't take his red hat off, you won't make it out of this bar alive. And we're like, see you later, have a good night. And we all left. And we just had house parties, and no one really went out to
right. Well, and like wearing a red hat, if that could cause something like that,
trigger something. Like the guy was wearing a red Boston Red Sox hat, and the guy was like threatening to kill him. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna leave because we're a bunch of white folk here. So
I never really thought of much when I asked for Lee and Cardiff to make me a 2 Ales and Hockey Tales logo, but we got no red on it, so that's good.
Like in Stockton, like we get a text from like our PR guys, like, hey, we've been warned by the police department, if any of you guys have significant others, females, don't go to this Walmart. The local gang is, their initiation is to kidnap a girl, and is to rape and kill her. That's their initiation. It's fucked up, man. So we're all like,
you're
what the fuck? Seriously. And that was it, man. It was fucking crazy.
Hey, who told you not to go to the Walmart because of that?
Our PR guy, because he was like, they had a bunch of the guys from the Stockton PD. They're like, hey, like, don't go to this Walmart. The local gang is targeting females in this age group, and this is their initiation into the gang.
Thresher, Belgian, Wit Beer, Bayfield
Put
Brewing
a dapper
Company.
on this ad read. Dapper on this ad read.
Okay. I'm glad I live near Bayfield, Ontario, where the Bayfield Brewing Company is in Kincardine, Ontario. Hopefully they continue to sponsor the pod. If you haven't emailed them yet, please do. That's and you hear about stuff like that in the world, and you're like, oof.
Yeah, and it's sad and it's unfortunate, but we were lucky that we got the heads up on, nothing happened or any of that, but for the poor soul.
But like that is happening there in the world,
and it's like
that's absurd to think of. Like people live there and they got to deal with that. What
scary shit, man. Like when I was in Beaumont, like outside of Beaumont was Vidor, Texas, and that was the birthplace of the KKK.
Jeepers.
Like fuck. Crazy, man. So anywho,
hockey players live in different places, don't they?
Yeah,
a lot of different places than you would
Yeah.
otherwise.
Exactly.
So you went from Stockton, sounds like a trip.
It
But
was awesome. But honestly, great. Honestly, it was a great spot to play. Don't get me wrong, it was
no,
unreal.
and the weird part is about a lot of places, right? As you get
Yeah,
there and you're like, you could take a right and be in a really nice area, or you could take a
yeah,
left and be in the exact opposite area. And
yeah,
you're like, oh
exactly.
dear, I don't know where I'm at
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah,
Mm,
crazy.
okay.
And I was like, so hey, so when I was in Toledo, like funny you say that. So when I was in Toledo, like where I met Marty, um, I got traded from Utah to Toledo.
You can
And
call
so
him the goat if you want.
yeah, he's all right.
You can call him the goat. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do it.
He
Do it.
so the goat Joey Martin.
God, that felt
So
good, did it?
yeah, oh, so good. So when I got traded from Utah to Toledo. So I left, and then my wife packed up our place. Jen packed up the place. My dad flew into Salt Lake to help her, and then they drove from Utah to Toledo. And my dad stayed for like a week, and my mom found him this like little hole in the wall, like big premier inn and suites. Like you go in, it's got its own kitchen, its own big bedroom. My dad loved it. It was awesome. Like my dad's a big man. That's like 6'7", like 365, like
Your
ex-cop,
old man's
ex-cop.
big, you're big, your kids are
No, like
big.
my old man's big, and he was tough as fuck. Like he was like a cop, and he used to like beat the living shit out of people.
Hmm.
Like he was a mutant. Like you never cross this guy. Like he's biggest teddy bear around now. But so it's so funny. So my dad's in Toledo, and he's like go for a walk, and he's a big man, and just like you said, you turn right, you go to a nice place. So, but he turns left, and he's going down this kind of a shady area, and this lady goes, "Hey, white boy, you lost?" And I goes, "Yeah, I'm not from around here." And she's like, "I can tell. You better turn that big ass around, or you ain't gonna make it home, boy." So it's like, okay, well, I'm like, I'm from Canada. Where do I go?
Oh
So she's
man.
like, well, what are you looking for? You just want to get some breakfast. She's like, oh, there's a Waffle House just down the road there. You'll be good and safe there, sir. But it's like, okay, thanks.
Oh man. Yeah, no, definitely different neighborhoods in the world for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Everywhere you live, there's different neighborhoods. And
Oh, 100%. 100%.
shout out to Bruce County. Love living here. I fit in. Great. I like the people here. That's all I got to say about that. Okay.
Okay.
We're not very good at locking doors in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, same where I'm at, man. Same where I'm at.
And that feels good to live that way, right?
Exactly.
I don't even need a gated community.
Nope.
No. Okay. So you do go to from the Stockton Thunder to the Utah Grizzlies. What Utah Grizzlies? What's that like?
Awesome. One of the best places I ever played.
Yeah,
So much
it'd be
fun.
nice out there, eh?
Yeah, Salt Lake City. You're right. Hip jumping or skip away from Park City, or the heck it's called, and so much fun, man. And it was a great city. We played at the Maverick Center, which hosted the Olympics there. Like unbelievable building. Kevin Colley was the coach there, and he was fucking awesome, and he was great for me. And he was an agitator, kind of tough guy, so he played me a lot, but he was awesome. I was probably one of my favorite coaches, straight up and honest with me all the time, and we had great open dialogue, and he was so much fun, man. And it was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay. So new question. I think I already know what your answer is because I think you already said it, but your like favorite coaches as a tough guy, because like obviously I played a different role, but like what were your favorite coaches like, and like why? Was it just being open and honest and letting you know how the game might play out, or how much ice time you might get?
None of my coaches ever once told me to fight. None of them. Like from when I played my 16-year-old year to even in Edinburgh, like even with myself, like I never had to tell myself to fight. I just knew when to do it. But
was there ever like the morning after where they were like you should have?
No, because I always would take care of it. Like I always knew. I had Malcolm Cameron, who's coaching in Glasgow now, was kind of mad. My very first year pro, I didn't fight one time right at the end of the year in a mean nothing game with like 5 minutes left. Like I said no to fight, and I don't know. He was mad at me. I don't know. and he never explained himself, and it was a pointless fight. We were winning like 7 or 8-0. There's no reason for me to fight this guy. I already fought both of them, both their tough guys all year. So I was like, I don't need to fight this guy and fucking break my hand, or like it's a meaningless fight. Like there's nothing, it's not going to change any momentum in any part of the game. I don't need to fight this guy. And he was mad at me. He didn't talk to me. And I was like, and he gave me like a dirty look in the morning. I was just like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like,
well, right,
like, and he's not, and Mally's not. That's not the way Malcolm is. He's an absolute legend, beauty. I really liked him, and he really like helped me get like stay in pro hockey. But he was mad. That's the only time I've ever had a coach mad at me for not fighting. You know, it's just like I've lost fights before, and coaches are like, okay, you lost. Who the fuck cares? Like,
well, this reminds me of like when I was with Hando, right, and he's with Cardiff, and it's it's the UK league. You don't make a lot of money, and the guys you guys were fighting that year, like 2014, 15, 15, 16, the guys that were in that league, you're not making millions of dollars, and you're fighting guys that you should be getting paid $1 million to fight.
Yeah, like this thing, like you're fighting Westgarth, Jansen, McGrattan, Nickerson, Salty, Hendo, me. What the fuck's the other tall guy from? I actually fought him.
The guy in Coventry.
Jeff Smith, fucking Boris Valabek. Like you're
that
fighting
guy,
all of them. Tough guys. Like you're making what, fucking 500 to 600 pounds a week for some of these guys. Like,
yeah, and it's like, what are we doing here?
No.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's not like we didn't want to fight, but you know, like there's always like you said, there's a time and a place to fight in a game. Like if you're winning 2-0 in Cardiff and Salty comes to ask me to fight, like the last thing I want to do is ignite the BBT. Yeah, you can call me a pussy all you want, but don't get me wrong, we were never up 2-0 in Cardiff. Don't worry, ever.
I know.
but yeah, but I never had any coaches like that, or
but the thing is like there were also fighters that are calculated, like yourself, Hendo, Salts. Like you guys knew when you wanted to, why you wanted to, who you were going to do it with, what time of the game it was. Like, and then there are other guys that like just lose their marbles and go get angry and like take bad penalties and do all the other stuff, right?
And that's probably why all the coaches I always got along, because I wasn't like that. You know, I never really took dumb penalties, and if it was, it's because I was maybe a bit slow on my left-hand turn, so I tripped up a guy or whatever it is. But for me, as like I try to take the best things from every coach I had, and kind of make that into who I am today. And
that's exactly what I try to do.
Exactly, like I had Benoit Grew in when I was in Rochester, and he's in Syracuse now, and he coached World Juniors. Like, you know, like guys like him, like I try to take, like he had a lot of great theories, and he was great systematically, and he was fucking actually a really good coach. I loved him, and like there's just so many good things. I just try to take the best from every coach and kind of just make it who I am today, and put my own spin on it, because obviously you can't coach kids these days the way you used to coach kids back in the day.
Yeah.
You got to get a way you have to find a way for these kids to, you know, to absorb what you're trying to say, you know. I just say, hey guys, like I got drafted with 0 points in the National Hockey League. You think you're good? You ain't that fucking good.
No, but the thing is you're calculated, you're smart, and you know what you're doing. And you did have a hockey brain. And I don't know, I find it interesting.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah, because like Hendo's the same way. Hendo always thought everything through of what was going on. And I find it interesting learning your side of the world, because I was always just worried about my power play. And like if my power play wasn't going well, I'd be pissed off.
Well, you wouldn't get back on, because a guy like me would come take it from you, because once I got on the power play, I'm never getting off, because I'll never get that opportunity again.
That's why I was never injured.
Love it.
Okay. So after that, you're in the Utah, Salt Lake area. You go. So that's your year with. You start in Salt Lake, and then you hit the walleye in Toledo, eh?
Yeah, I got traded to Toledo, so Utah was like, well, it was a tough year for me, actually. Just like personally, like Jen and I were together. We were engaged. We just miscarried a baby, and that fucked me up. That fucked me up, man.
Yeah.
That fucked me, yeah. But that fucked me up mentally, like fighting wise. Like it was weird. It was a switch that kind of switched me off because I was perfectly fine, like fighting all the time, whatever. But after that happened, like that really fucked me up, and I wasn't the same. I wasn't the same Riley. And but I went to Utah, and I was, this is like because like this happened in Utah, and Kevin kind of saw that, and I needed to get out of there, and he kind of, said, hey, oh, I'm going to trade you to Utah. And it sucked because we loved it there. And I remember after I got dealt, like the whole room was like silent. Like Riley just got traded. Like Riley got traded. I was like, boys, like he flipped me for a fucking sick player who's going to get two more players in here. Like I'm just helping the boys out. And I went to Utah and I went to Toledo, sorry. And honestly, unbelievable building, such a nice building, terrible apartments, fucking great group of guys. And it's what I needed. Like, it's what me and Jen needed as a couple. And it brought us even closer together after kind of a dark time. Like you said, everyone has dark times, and that was our dark time. And she met Joey's ex-girl there, and a great group of girls there. And it was so much fun, man. And
Well, and you
yeah,
get
it was
good
awesome.
people all on a team is when you start having fun,
Exactly.
right?
And it was great people. Like it's like, like Simone de Pepin or whatever the fuck is now how you say his last name.
Who?
Like Simone, like big Simone Denny.
Do I know who that
He was
is?
at Joey's wedding with us. He was the only guy my height.
There's another guy your size
He
there?
sat at our table, you fucking numbnuts.
Dude, I
He
was
was a
drinking.
monster. Yeah,
I was
I know
drinking
you were.
heavily.
Yeah, he was there. Like Harrison Reed was there. Like just awesome people.
Those guys were at the wedding?
No, they were at Toledo. They were on Toledo,
I
and they
don't-
went to Joey's. And they went to Joey's wedding too. Look at the guest list, bro. Anywho, you can go past this all, but it was just it was a great place for me to go, and it was
still
awesome.
dominated you on the dance floor.
Once you pulled out the worm, man, I'm not doing a caterpillar.
I got sent that video the next day or two from a guy from Elmira that happened to be at the wedding. And man, that worm didn't look like the worm I see out there.
Yeah, I just remember the after hours burgers they had were set up. They were so fucking good. I was just crushing burgers outside.
I was still hitting the floor, I think. Where are we now? Okay, I want to know. Okay, no, you don't get to decide. This is my shed. Okay.
Good.
Love story. Where'd you meet her?
I met her in Stockton. So
really, she's from there.
I met her from Stockton. She's from Tracy, California. So her dad.
And you moved her back to Canada?
Oh, buddy, I put my seed in her as fast as possible.
Yeah, you
She's
did.
6'3". She's 6'3".
Oh, you're just making first rounders, eh?
Yeah, hoping. Or Olympians. No, that's not what I did. Like the moment I saw her, like I was like, I gotta get this girl. I'm never gonna talk to her. Yada. And I met her. Her dad won I spent the day with the kids, with the team, with the Thunder, and he's like, oh, I'll give it to you, Jen. Like you can go meet some good guys. And she's like, I'm not taking this. This is embarrassing. So she gave it to like the neighbor kid who was like 11 at the time. He's like, well, I don't have anyone to take me. Will you take me, Jen? So Jen took him, and that's how I met her. And it was like, it literally meant it was love at first sight, buddy. Like I saw her, I met her, talked to her after the game, got her number, and then I was done. Like I was wrapped up. I
saw you at the wedding. I could tell you're all smitten.
She's way too good looking for me. I'll be honest.
Sorry for burping in the mic. Mine's too good looking for me too. I get it.
Yeah, I can confirm that. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta latch on when you can.
Exactly.
Okay, so other guy that was on that team that year with the GOAT is Gleason Fournier, the Swan. Do you know him?
Yeah, really skilled defenseman. He was I think he was on an NHL deal with Detroit at the time. Beauty.
He would have been one of the players that, like, I'm still confused how that guy isn't doing bigger and better things.
Yeah, honestly, it's when it's an opportunity, and the opportunity you get if you seize it at the right moment. That's how it is, man. That's the game of hockey.
That guy is really good though.
He's fucking really good.
Yeah. I'm pretty
Really
sure
good.
Marty was the reason he came to Cardiff in the first place. Then you got Marty
Yeah.
and Fournier on a team in Cardiff, and you're like, huh.
Your PK is getting scored on every fucking time. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about it. Okay, so you go from there, then from the Toledo Walleye, which is not the Toledo Storm that I played against. So you didn't know about that rink because that was a trip. You go to the Missouri Mavericks in the Central Hockey League for the first time.
Yeah, Independence, Missouri, man. Great building, great organization to play.
Where in Missouri?
It's Independence. So it's Kansas City, Missouri / Independence.
What does that mean? Independence.
It's Independence is a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like how like Mississauga is a suburb of Toronto?
Now I get it. You said Independence. I'm like, Independence, like
Independent is like Will Smith out there. Like
I thought Independence Day, aliens, whatever.
No, but
weird name of a town. Sorry, suburb. Weird name.
It's a little suburb of Kansas City, Missouri. So great spot to play, man. Unbelievable organization. They're first class. Awesome. Like we fucking loved it there. Met like legends there. Like,
where were your kids born?
Liam, they're both born in Bellingham.
Bellingham,
Washington. So
where's that?
An hour and a half, 2 hours north of Seattle.
Oh,
40 minutes from Abbotsford. It's like right past the border. Jen had her, when we had them, Jen didn't have her residency yet in Canada, so she had no health care up here. So she still had all her U.S. health care. So we just had the babies down there. So they're both dual citizenship. Good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ours are dual citizenship too, just not as tall. A lot shorter. A lot shorter. Moving on. Okay. So you had a great time in Missouri. That's good.
Yeah.
We better move on. Last season in North America, you do play for the San Francisco Bulls and Pat Curcio, former Potter.
A beauty, man. That guy was awesome. Love that guy.
I loved him in the shed. He seemed like an awesome guy.
He was very smart. Just a tough market to put a East Coast team in San Francisco. Like fuck, man, it's one of the most expensive places to live in America.
And then you're trying to give guys apartments and stuff, eh?
And you're living in college high rises with Jen and I live with the equipment manager. So, which was awesome, actually. It was really nice. We were, married at the time. We had a newborn. Liam was born. And do you know what was tough that year is I signed in Utah as a player assistant to go back to Utah. And I was so pumped because we loved it there. And Kevin was there. Collie was there, but then Calls got a better offer to go to Arizona to the Sun Dogs. And the new coach wanted me to stay with Utah. Tim Branham, I think his name was, and I helped recruit that whole team. And then August 15th came, like a month before I'm supposed to leave. He calls me and says, "Hey, I don't have room for you anymore. Cut me." Says, "I don't want you anymore." So I'm like, I have a fucking month before the season starts. I have nowhere to play. Are you fucking kidding me? So he's like, "Yeah, sorry." I was like, I got us lost. I said, "You're a piece of shit. Like, I asked you straight up. Like, if you don't want me right now, I can go. Like, fuck off."
Yeah.
And then he did that. I was like, I have a newborn. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to feed my kid? And he pulled that shady shit on me, and which was bullshit in my opinion. And that's something like, if you don't want me, just cut me right away. Like, I don't fucking care. I'm not gonna be mad.
I agree. Just let you know right away.
Yeah. And at least give me time to make some money somewhere. So I actually signed in St. Charles with the Chill. They were a 1-year organization, which was like outside of St. Louis. So I went there with Jen.
This is the same year you're playing for San Francisco, Ontario, and Arizona Sun Dogs.
Oh yeah. So it's the year after I was in Missouri. So I go to St. Charles. We go to camp. There's like 22 guys in camp, 11 guys on the team. Jamie Rivers is the head coach there. He brings in like 8 heavyweights. There's like 8 tough guys there. And he's expecting us to fight like it is back in the day. we got like 11 guys on each team. Like, I'm like, why? I don't have to fight anybody here. I don't have to prove anything.
I've
I'm an
already done it
8-year
in real
I'm an
games against
8-year
other
pro.
teams. Yeah.
I don't need to fight all these guys. And like, I got my agent calling me at like team dinners, like, you got to fight this guy. You got to do this. So like the next day I have like 5 fights, like 4 other guys get knocked out in different fights. And I'm fucking fighting the super heavyweights, like all these young bucks. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I'm living in a hotel with a newborn. Everyone's got their apartment. I have nothing. I'm sitting like, and they owed me all my travel money from driving out there, and I hadn't got any of it. So I'm like, I'm living in a whole fucking hotel. They're feeding us 5 guys hot dogs for dinner and lunch. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to feed my family?
This is with the St. Charles Chill.
Yeah, it was awful, man. Like, just terrible. Like, Jen and I would go in and we would steal everything from the breakfast, continental breakfast, all like the oatmeal, hard-boiled eggs, bagels, mini cream cheeses. We were stacked in our room, so we fed ourselves.
You got to get
off
that shit, yeah.
Yeah, and you got a newborn, and she's got to fuel her body to fuel him, and then finally I just went in and we both decided, like, they were like, yeah, it's not going to work out. We can't afford a family. I got with a family, so that's when I went to Patty, and Pat reached out, and that's when I went to him. So legend.
Okay. No, and he man, I having him on, like, he's an agent now, but like having him on and him putting his heart and soul into that San Francisco team and trying to get it
Honestly,
going. Like,
it was heart, man. That place, the Cow Palace, was awesome. I love fucking playing there. The great group of guys. Patty did such a good job, but it just, I think if he had some better backing from investors, or maybe the Sharks put some more money in with it, I think that place would have been unreal.
Yeah.
And especially now with San Jose and the Barracuda, you have the Bulls there. Like,
it's perfect.
It's perfect. Exactly. But the Cal Palace was an expensive place to rent, and it was expensive flying or busing everywhere in the coast, and the living expenses don't help out. Like,
so he explained the Cow Palace to me a bit. What exactly was that again?
Back in the day, it was the big stadium for all the rodeos. The Sharks used to play there, I think, a little bit, but awesome, man. Like, you had to walk
they're
up
in the Shark Tank. They've always been in the Shark Tank.
They're the San Jose Sharks, but I think someone started out in this Cal Palace. It was sick bar though. I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, the neutral zone was like a stride and a half for me. Back checking was awesome.
I would love it too.
Oh yeah, you never back check a day in your life, Wally. What the fuck?
Are you kidding me? I would when it was necessary.
Yeah, because you wanted to get the puck back on the power play.
Whatever. I'd be back there when I needed to be.
Exactly. But yeah, Patty was awesome, man. I enjoyed him. He was great. I will say he was very straight up with me when the team was going under. He called me and he told me, he's like, Riley, the guys aren't going to be getting paid. You have a family. Like what do you want me to do?
And that's the type of person I thought he was when he comes in the shed, and he comes on and he tells me who he is, and like I meet his partner David Amonte, and I'm like, well, these are the agents I would want as a player. Like, they're just straight up dudes that are good dudes that are telling you what's up. And now you're telling me this story, and I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he was straight up, and he's like, Riley, like, you have a wife, you have a newborn, like, we're not going to be guys aren't going to be getting paid. What do you want me to do with you? Want me to put you on waivers? Want me to try to trade you? And I was like, honestly, Patty, just put me on, just cut me and release me, put me on waivers. If I get picked up, I get picked up. If not, I'll go home and retire. Like, it's all good, man. Like, my main priority is, like, I have a job back home I can go to. If I get picked up, depending where it is, like if I get picked up by Wheeling or whatever it is, like, I'm not going. But I got picked up by Ontario, and we made the trek down there. So, and that was awesome.
So you got picked up by the Ontario Reign.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happens there? Because you end up playing for the Arizona Sundogs too.
So Ontario was awesome, man. Jason Christie, he was a fucking detailed, in-your-face coach. Unbelievable. He's with Buffalo now. He's assistant coach in Buffalo. Just got hired this summer. Awesome guy. Really enjoyed him. He right when San Francisco folded, he started bringing all the San Jose guys over on loan. So like Big O's and a bunch of other guys, he brought them all to Ontario. So Obviously me being the fighter and the guy who I am, short, see you later. He goes, I want to release you and then release you on Friday, and I want to sign you back on Monday. It's like, what?
And there's there is some weird shit that
weird
happens.
Shit. And I just said, don't, just release me. I'm done. I'm going home. Like, fuck this. Like, thank you for the opportunity. Great facility.
Don't play those games with me. Yeah.
And I was like, that's the way. And I wasn't dumb, like you said. Like, I was just I'm not a stupid idiot. Like,
no,
but it was
not.
like I was telling Jen, I was like, I'm done. Like, let's go home. Let's get settled. Like, and she was like, no, like, you're not done. Like, go out on your own terms. Like, and then Collie calls me that night. It's like, hey, like, come finish the year in Arizona with me with the Sundogs. So that's where the guy that I had in Utah, who officially signed me as a player assistant coach, that's where he went. So I circled back and went back with him to Arizona. And my best man at my wedding, Kevin Baker, was there. And
so Kevin Baker, he was your best man at your wedding?
Yeah, him and Kyle Comiskey, yeah.
And he went to, I got it written down here, but we never talked about it. When you were with the Wildcatters, he went to Germany and played for Schwenningen for a bit and played against me. So he's good. Yeah. So he had some crazy numbers, and you would have been the guy that would have helped him out in some situations probably. And you guys probably have quite a bond, right?
Yeah. Well, so he was in Houston's camp with me, and it was so funny. Like, every time I was taking a piss in the urinal before practice or a game or whatever it was, he was right beside me peeing too. So we're like, we're on the same pee schedule, like just making these jokes, and then we both get sent down. And he had his own place, but it was kind of like off away from everyone. And I was living in a 2-bedroom with somebody else. Well, they wanted to put me with this Euro goalie with his girlfriend. I'm like, I don't want to fucking live with these guys. So Kevin and I, it was after practice one day. Kevin's like, hey, I'm going to come move in with you, and I'm going to give Miro my place, and I'm going to come live with you. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
And we hit it off, man. Like, unbelievable human being. Just like this, like we were playing the Phoenix Roadrunners one night. So like my mom and my dad fly in, my grandpa and my grandma are there, and we go to the Embassy Suites. We're at the Embassy Suites, and it's like cocktail hour, like happy hour, like all you can drink or whatever. So Kevin and I get fucking lit. I know I'm not playing the next day. Matt Malcolm told me, he's like, rather you're not playing, like go out with your family, hang out. I'm like, done. So Kevin gets fucking shit faced, like he's so drunk. And my grandpa's like, how is he supposed to play tomorrow? Like, he can't play. Scores a fucking alley.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, and it's just, that's the type of guy he was. Like, he needed to
that
go
guy
out
needs to come in the shed.
Oh,
it sounds like my type of guy.
Legendary stories.
Is that right? Where is he from?
He's from Ontario. He's living in Orange, Texas. So he met a girl down in Beaumont, Casey, and they're living down there. He works for her dad's oil rig company, and he's like the safety manager there, putting like 60-70 hour work weeks in. Beauty.
Well, I should get him on, because he was one guy I had written down. He's on the notes here.
He's a legend. I was talking to him last night, actually. But beauty, yeah. So he was in Arizona, so I made the trek down there, and I kind of fucked my knee up at the end of the year, grade 2 MCL sprain, so it sucks. So yeah, so I thought I was done, and then that's when life took me to the UK.
Right, which is where most of our fans are, and they've just been dying to talk more about this. So how do you end up in Edinburgh? Who gets that deal done, and how do you end up there?
So I was thinking about going to Fort Worth, to play for
Texas
the Comets
again.
No, sorry, Fort Wayne. My bad.
The Comets.
Yeah, I was thinking about going there. I was talking to their coach and their owner, and I was talking to Matt Krug, who played with me in Missouri and in Toledo with the GOAT, and the
Welsh GOAT.
Yeah, the Welshian GOAT. Matty was like, hey, I got this team in Scotland, like kind of wanting a player like you and me, and Some guy, they contacted me and I just said, hey, this is how it is and this is what I want. And I had a couple of buddies who play in the UK, so like I knew about council tax and I knew about this, I knew about that. So they're like, yeah, we'll offer you this and this and this and this. I'm like, okay, well, I want this paid for, this paid for, this paid for, this paid for. Like, how do you know about that? I'm like, I'm not a fucking idiot. So I got like
Wow.
I got my council tax paid for. I guaranteed in my contract I had a vehicle and I had this and I had that. And yeah, so it was pretty good. And my wife and I, I played with Colt King in Missouri. And Colt says, you need to go to the UK. You need to go play in the UK. Like, just go in the UK. Like, you're gonna love it, and they're gonna love you. And
Yeah.
and we listened, and we went to Edinburgh, and honestly, it was fucking unbelievable, man.
Man. Yeah, I don't think you realize what I guess, I don't know, accomplished or whatever, but like they did love you there. I put
Yeah.
up on, like, I don't think you're on Instagram, right?
I am, but you don't follow me because you're too cool for school.
Well, I couldn't find you. I looked for you today. But anyways, I was looking for you and I was trying to like whatever. And like as soon as I put out there that you were coming on, I had a whole bunch of people write to me like, this is gonna be legendary because of yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not too bad. It was fun. Let's grab my charger. Keep going.
So anyways, no, but the first year you're there, you're just a player, right? You
Yeah.
just play. And
Yeah,
that
I
is
played in.
that's your
I-
best year of hockey. You got to be having the most fun you've ever had playing hockey, no?
Seriously, it was so much fun. Richard Hartman was the coach.
Was he a player
Slovakian.
coach?
He was a player head coach. He was nasty, man. He was.
I
so
think he
good.
used to play in Germany against me. Number
But he was
38,
38 or 37. But
number right-handed shot,
yeah,
little guy,
yeah,
skinny.
buddy. No, he was sick. He was sick, but man, he was good. Like, he was so ridiculously skilled, man. And he was playing at like 40, I think. I think he had to be 40 or 35, or I don't know, man. But he was really smart, and he was so ridiculously skilled, and he just said, fight when you have to fight, and just play hockey. And he fucking played the shit out of me, man. Like, he goes, you're gonna play, can you skate backwards? And I was like, yes. And have you ever played defense? I said, yes. Like, okay, well, you'll play forward, and if I need you at D, can you play D? And you'll PK at defense, and you'll fucking eat pucks and clear pucks and box out, and on the power play you're gonna stand in front of the net. And that's what I did. And it was so much fun, man. Like, he just let me play. And I probably could have fought a bit more there, but I was playing so fucking much, man. It's hard to say, okay, I'm gonna go sit in the box for 5 minutes when you're fucking on the power play and penalty killing. And like you said, like, I had fucking 15, 16, 17 goals that year. Like, never had that in my life. It was amazing. Like, and honestly, it made me fall back in love with hockey, especially the year before, bouncing around from team to team to team. And
The UK can do that to you.
yeah, and I honestly did. And the fans, and just how the fans were, other than some mean Cardiff fans that I fucking ripped one day, chirping me in front of my kid outside Murrayfield, fucking idiots. But it was awesome. Like, so much fun. Like, just everything was awesome.
No, I like fallen in love with hockey again, right? That's what happened for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seriously, like, the only thing that sucked was my second year. I fucked up on Jen's visa, and they denied it because I forgot to send in our marriage certificate. So it got delayed 3.5 months. So I was away from her from.
You're the
August.
one dealing with that shit. You're putting in the paperwork.
I had to do it all.
You got to delegate that shit.
We didn't have the resources. I had to do it all.
No, the wife does that shit for me. She does all the paperwork.
Yeah,
when it comes
but
to
it was
that
my
stuff.
dad, and I fucked up on it. And I didn't see her from August 20th to December 1st. And that was the hardest, because
August 20th to December 1st. That's a long time.
It's such a long time, man. It was awful. It was so hard.
Where were the kids? What?
They were back. Liam was back home with her, waiting for her visa.
This is when you're coaching? I'm burping again.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, that's when I was coaching. It was tough, man. It was my second year, and she should have just fucking flown over
Do you
and
know
seen
what's
us.
interesting for me is like I always say this on here is like people play hockey better when they're happy, when they're doing
Yeah.
what they want, when they're a happier person. If I
Mhm.
played hockey right now, I honestly, if my knee would work, I think I'd be the best player I've ever been
Yeah.
because I understand the game more and I'm happy in life with what I'm doing out here in the shed and everything that's going on. I'm happy and
Exactly.
I think I could really play hockey right now, right? But like
Yeah.
anyways, I know
Yeah.
we're rambling and I
And that's how it was that's how it was my first year. What
you
are
were
you
just
still doing
having
now?
fun and
I
loving
was
it,
having
right?
fun. I was playing, and it
And
was
then the
awesome.
next year, your family's not there, and I see the
Yeah.
points go way down, and
Yeah.
you're
Well,
not
I
as
didn't. I
happy. You
didn't
got more stress. Oh, you're still up. I thought you were in bed.
get out of here, Mister. Come on, you stinker.
I am almost done. I promise. I'll
It's
get
all
Dad
good.
to
It's
bed
all
in
good.
no
But
time.
but the second, like our second year, like I wasn't on the first unit power play like I was the year before, and I gave myself a lot lesser role because I had guys like Ryan Hayes, Craig McCallum, Paul Zanette, like Trevor Gerling, like I got legitimate like studs in, so I don't need to do that. Like I'll just sit back, be the 11th forward. Like I'm okay with that, and I'll like try to coach more. And I think I wasn't really ready, like coaching wise, for that, but I was a fucking great recruiter and I had a lot of contacts, so might as well try to get the boys together and ready to go.
You're a good dude.
Yeah.
So like I've been doing player reviews, but I think
Mm-hmm.
you've already laid all yours out. Like I've been giving everybody their player review, but like I already know what like who you are and what you do. But like
Yeah.
you've already laid it out. Is basically you do anything that like if you're on the team, this is your team, and you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna take care of people. You're
Yeah.
gonna you're gonna you're going to take care of the best players, the Kevin Bakers of the
Yeah.
world, right? You're going to take care of
Exactly.
them, know that they're happy. And you're also going to do anything the coach asks of you. You're going to play penalty kill. You're going to play power play. You're going to do whatever they ask. If they say
Mm-hmm.
stand in front of the net, you'll do that. Nobody asked you
Yeah.
to fight, but you would have done it if they asked you to,
Yeah.
because you're just a teammate and you're just a guy that is there to try and help the team win.
Exactly. And that's who I am still now as a person in life.
It's weird how you don't really change, do you?
No, it's fucked.
Yeah, but like, and that's what the interesting part of having you on in the shed is like, you were probably the tallest or biggest guy I've played against, or there's other guys around the same size, and you always remember that shit when you're a little guy. But when the game ended and you and Joey Martin would go out and shoot the shit, I'm like, well, if he's his friend, he's my friend, right?
Hell yeah, Wally. Hell yeah. And hey, if you can cut a rug like you did on the dance floor, buddy, you can party with me any day. No, but honestly, the UK was awesome, man. Like,
you're right, though.
Like,
you're right.
Like,
it brings you back to like what hockey should be,
yeah,
right?
And I remember after my first year in Edinburgh, like I was talking to Corey about going to Nottingham, and I could have went there and made a couple more £100 a week and
not been the coach and not had all the
not been the coach
responsibilities
and played on a fucking first class organization that the next year they won it all. Like they won fucking playoff weekend the next year, and I could have been up. That's the year Jansen went. Like I was talking to Corey before Cam went over, and I could have went there, but I didn't because I saw something in Edinburgh, and they just didn't have the financial backing to put our vision or our dream together. They just needed someone with a fuck ton of money that's willing to lose a couple, like maybe £1 million in a year to fucking build something. So
I don't know any of the finances and how much it costs or anything, right? Like
neither do I, but all I know is we had a great group of guys. It was so much fun in Edinburgh, and even though a bunch of guys left and quit, the guys that we brought in were just like beauties, and they worked their ass off, and Carson Chulak, who was our goalie, who was fucking phenomenal, was playing with one leg all fucking year because he like tore his groin. Like he didn't even practice. Like I didn't even have a goalie for practice. Like that's how it was at the end of the year. We just go out and fucking fuck around and play because it's like half the guys are so beat up and our goalie was hurt, and we'd have like our backup goalie who was like an electrician, Kevin Forshall, who was a beauty as well, or Craig Mallison or George Fernando, who's like a part owner, who was just a gem, who would come out and just stop pucks. Like that's how it was. Like it was like I would stay at the rink till 2 a.m. doing laundry. So the guys had dry like undergear for the next day.
And you were doing that. That's what I had written down.
Yeah.
It was part of the notes at one point.
Yeah,
Was like you were the coach, the GM, the equipment manager. I remember when we'd be playing against you, and yeah, like you'd be doing the laundry.
I'd be switching laundry, staying there, hanging out with the ice guys there, Craig and Scotty and all those guys staying out and fucking we'd shoot the shit and watch TV in their Iceman's room. And I had no family there yet, and I didn't really want to. And as a coach at the time, I didn't want to go out and party with the boys, like, because you still got to be their coach as well. But and it was tough. Like we didn't have our own personal gym. Guys didn't have cars. Guys didn't have anything. Like no wonder everyone laughed. Like the funniest thing, and you're gonna laugh, is our captain Everett Sheen left. No one knows this story, but there was a nice flat that like 5 of the guys stayed at. It was like a penthouse flat. It was actually really nice. So they're like, okay, yeah, you're gonna stay at this flat, and it wasn't ready at the start of the year. So the guys were living in like Fife and driving from Fife into Edinburgh every day. And they finally get this like dream flat they've been told about how great it is. And they all show up, and whoever was living in there before, the landlord didn't clean it. Didn't get a deep clean, didn't get anything. It was a fucking disaster. It was a gypsy brothel being used as. So there's like sex toys everywhere. There's
the gypsy
garbage.
brothel.
Oh, I don't know what it is. But
like the gypsies, that was something like that. Like I know we're getting off topic, but gypsies, that was something that like I didn't know was a real thing until I went to Cardiff. And then when you're driving out of like Cardiff the one way for road games, there's legit trailers like
So like I get this
with dogs
I get this call, and it's my captain Everett Sheen. He's like, Riley, like this apartment is trashed. There's shit everywhere. There's fucking sex toys everywhere. I can't fucking live here. I can't stay here tonight. So I was like, okay, well, come stay at my place. Like everyone come stay at my place. Like, so I'm calling my owner, like, what the fuck is going on? So like they're rushing the cleaning crew in there, and it was like a week later, my captain's like, I'm done. Like I booked my flight last week. Like that was the last straw. And like, like he literally goes into, he's been staying out of the city of Edinburgh, driving 30 minutes to Edinburgh every day to get to Edinburgh.
And then he gets
they're
there.
supposed to get into Edinburgh, and this apartment's trashed with fucking devils everywhere. like what the fuck? Like, and I'm
that was hockey though. That was the way it was.
And I just don't know what to say, and I don't know what to say to my owner, and I don't know what to say to like all the owners we had. I'm like, how am I supposed to keep this team together? And like then we had like Ryan Hayes, who was like leading the league in scoring at the time. He was like, hey, I might,
Well, just for me, because I was trying to do that.
Yeah,
he was scoring a lot of points, and I was like, what a little punk.
The guy was awesome. And
he was.
He was making like 400 pounds a week.
Yeah.
He's making nothing. And he's like, hey, like either I've got other European clubs after me, like, will you give me a bump in pay or whatever it is? And Scott's like, no. And he's like, well, and then so he ended up getting shipped to like Sheffield because I don't know what the heck happened there. And then everything just fell apart. It's just like,
I remember when all that was happening, and I was like,
we were like 3rd or 4th in the league, man, at the time. Like, cause we beaten you guys.
You had put together a team, and like
we beaten every big club. Like,
well, and now that I've had you in my shed, and like I met you at the wedding, I knew who you were. Like, if you were my coach, if you were my player coach, I would be fully on board. Like
Yeah.
I'd be ready to rock.
Yeah, like if like nothing against Edinburgh, I love my time there. I love the people I met there. I loved everything about it. But if I was like coaching Cardiff at the time, like,
Oh yeah,
fuck me, man.
yeah,
Like, oh my god,
yeah.
like disgusting.
No,
Like I would have brought home more hardware than Lordo. No offense, Lordo. Just to stir the fucking pot, eh?
Yeah, you may as well get her going, right? No, but like the thing is like the person you are and like
Mhm.
the player you were and like the brain you have. It's interesting. Different
crazy.
mix
Yeah.
than most.
Yeah, pretty weird, eh? Pretty weird. But honestly, it's been awesome, and I love my time in the UK. And I one of my buddies I played with in Ontario is in Glasgow now, Cody Soul. And I was like, how do you like Glasgow? And he's like, man, I fucking love it over here. Like loves, like it's such an unbelievable lifestyle. Like no one understands. Like Colt King told me,
You have
you
to
know,
play
you
in
gotta
the UK.
you gotta go over to the UK. It's so much fun. Like I remember my first meal, I went over for lunch and I ordered like a burger. And the guy's like, oh, what do you want a pint? I'm like, I'll have a water. And he's like, a water? Like looking at me like, you fucking pussy. No, you're gonna have a fucking pint of tenants. I'm like, guess I'm having a beer. You know, it's so much fun, man. And there's like a bunch of the families we met there, like the Plues family, the Beatty family, like George I was talking about, like just unbelievable human beings, man. Like guys like John Fairley, like they're like we had like that Jay King who's playing in the second English league now. Like his dad was like our like equipment like handyman. He was a beauty too. Like Jock Haley, assistant coach, unreal. Bonnie, who was like the secretary, ticket girl, she worked her ass off for that team, but they just didn't have the like the big financial backing to escalate Edinburgh.
Well, and the people that they have over there, the people that support the teams and
diehards.
They're diehards. They're passionate, but like
awesome.
I have the fans on, like I have for them from different teams, and like they just love their team. Like they love it. Exactly. They love it like I love my shed.
Exactly. And honestly, like if the rink, because the Murrayfield rink kind of fucked everyone over out there, and you know it was fossils running that building that shouldn't have been there anymore. A bunch of old school skeletons that didn't transition in the world of hockey. They kept it like 1940 in a fucking World War bunker when it shouldn't have been transformed.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate because everyone you talk to or every player you talk to said, yeah, shittiest rink to play in, best city to go out in.
Well, it's like you look at the city they have, and it's like, well, you're trying to grow the game, and I know it's tough times nowadays, but like when things get on the rise here, somebody should really look into that.
Yeah, seriously, and we're finding somewhere to build a new rink that's kind of closer to downtown, and just get ready, man. Like if you have a lot of money, fucking do something with it, and that would be the staple of the UK league. It would dominate everything. Put a new facility in, like that would take over Nottingham. Put new playoff weekend there. Like see you later, Nottingham. Like you're going.
Well, Nottingham's already having a tough enough go, right? Like they're already having a tough enough go.
Imagine all the crazy fans for playoff weekend going down to Grassmarket or going on Princess Street, just hitting up every club, going up to Georgia Street.
See, I don't know. I don't know this town.
Oh my God, it's crazy, brother. Crazy.
See, I was always staying with the monkeys at the hotel.
The one you're dumb. Goat, and do you know what? It's the Welshie and Goat never wanted to come hang out with the big boys. He always had to. I gotta get my 8 points the next night. I'm just gonna sit in the room and
they wouldn't let us. It was horse shit. I wanted to be out. I wanted to be living.
Well, it's because it's like in The Hangover too. Like Bangkok has them now. Like Edinburgh's got them now. Like, oh, see you later.
No, it's there was always monkeys there.
But we loved our lifestyle. We had our second year. We had unbelievable neighbors that were awesome, and it was such a great experience.
To be honest, it's hard for me to listen to it, right? Because you got Pat Curcio, San Francisco Bulls, puts his heart and soul into it,
Yeah.
trying to get her going, trying to do everything he can. Then you got you with the Edinburgh Capitals, and I know you put your heart and soul into building the best team you possibly could. You put everything you absolutely had into making that team the best team you could, and it was out of your control because you had a team.
Yeah, we were not bad. Not
but
bad.
you gotta have all the ingredients to make the meal taste good.
Exactly. And like our Brits who are awesome guys like Jordan Steele, Sean Beatty, Callum Boyd, we had Jay King, Tyler Plews, like they got 25 pounds a week. That's what they paid them.
25 pounds?
That's 25 to 50 pounds a week. That's what they were paying them. Like they would lose money playing for us. It was embarrassing.
It's like less than junior hockey.
Yeah. So like how to play for the London Knights, fucking I think the London Knights players get paid more than all of us.
I don't know. I don't know. I only know one guy that played for them from Elmira that had like a really nice truck when we were in high school, and I didn't. So I don't know where he got that.
Exactly.
I didn't get it.
Weird.
So then after that season though, and like you put your heart and soul into it, man, you must have been a little pissed off when we were hitting the dance floor together that you're out of the game.
No, I kind of knew. Like I broke my arm. Like obviously I broke my arm.
Did you play the game in Cardiff with the broken arm, or did you just
coach?
I
just coached. I just coached with a sling on the bench, hung titties.
I remember that. That was when you were it was
I think we only lost like 3-1, and that was a win in my books.
You're right. Yeah, and you only had like 10 players. And I remember thinking, I'm like, this is embarrassing.
If you go to Cardiff and you don't get beaten by 4, it's a win. Like that should be a stat in the UK if you go.
But that was what we had started. That wasn't a thing when I got there. That was not a thing. No, Cardiff was not good at hockey when I got there.
That's Todd Lordo and the fucking goats he brought in was unbelievable.
Hell of a team.
I just still remember Jen went out that night after I broke my arm and she was with all the Cardiff girls and she saw Todd there and Todd's like, I love what Riley's doing in Edinburgh and I feel so bad for him. Like, and he's like make sure you let him know like fucking great job.
Well, you did.
And he's a straight up guy and it was shitty luck, broke my arm and it was brutal. And I think the biggest sour taste I have in my mouth about that is I broke my arm at my 499th pro game.
Really?
Like one fucking game before 500.
Does that matter though?
No, it doesn't matter for me because I got healthy scratched every game anyways in the A, so it kind of counts.
I honestly have no clue how many I played, like 0.
Yeah, but I'm not too worried about that. But I was able to leave on my own terms and like.
But like if you play the 500th, like,
just one more game.
Well, like it's not like we got what are they called, pensions or anybody helping us out if we get to 500 like the NHL players. The NHL players, I'm not getting a you know what? They get to 1,000, they get to 500. They get paid more, folks. Not us.
Dude, you know what the crazy thing is? This is my biggest thing about the show. And I love the NHL. Yeah. These guys make millions of dollars a year. Like their per diem is like $100 a day. Like how like it should be vice versa. Like the player, like
maybe
the
East
guys,
Coast or AHL guys that like actually
we get
paid
no
for.
Money. Yeah. We get like $450 or $600 a week or $650.
But the guy making $6 million.
Yeah, like the guy fucking making $8 million a fucking year needs an extra $100 for gambling money on the plane. Like fuck. That's the thing that rattles me.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, it's tough. What do you do?
Nothing. You can't do anything about it. You know, the only thing you can do is for me
you
now share.
You got to go to your shed and talk about it. That's all you can do.
For me, I just try and share my experiences with the kids I coach and the families that I get to interact with coaching and say like it's a fucking hard world to live into, man. And if you don't take the right steps now as a 13, 14, 15-year-old man, you're not going to play junior hockey. You're not going to get a scholarship. Like there are so many kids in this world who are trying to do what you're doing. Like it's so tough. Oh fuck.
I won't lie to you. I'm
Mhm.
very impressed with you as I don't know. No, like if you were my coach, I'd be in. I'd be ready to rock every night.
Well, you'd score in the PowerPoint for me every shift, so it'd be awesome.
Oh
So
yeah,
we'd
it'd be
fuck,
great. It would work.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fucking A, buddy.
No,
So, but
seriously.
yeah,
I know, like it's like the way you're talking about, like talking to
mhm,
parents and kids and
yeah,
just your outlook on the whole thing.
yeah.
I,
And
I
and and like when I talk to parents, like I have my parent meeting with 13, 14-year-old kids. Like these families are incredible. Like they're dropping $10,000 a year for these kids to play hockey, and that's cheap for what I'm doing. Like we got guys dropping 25 grand for these kids to play hockey at academies.
f- I
15,
for,
yeah,
f-
a
f-
year for a 13-year-old to play hockey.
so how much money do they make a year? Because I don't make enough to do that. Like what?
I've heard
Like
stories.
so?
I've
What
heard
about the
stories.
normal kids? Like what
I
about the
don't know.
kids that like their
They go
dads are
back
just
to,
like me?
yeah, they go back to minor hockey and grind it out, and hopefully they catch a break. But if you're a good hockey player, or if you want to go play juniors in BC or in some parts of Alberta, you go to an academy and you drop. But you're on the ice you're practicing 4 times a week. You're getting 2 games a week. You're in the gym 3 times a week. You go to school at your hockey rink.
So that's your
It's
life. You're a
That's your
hockey
life.
guy at
Yeah.
what
And
age?
at 13 for these like hockey academies, the hockey academies. Like for my program is we're all after school hours. We give you the same experience as an academy, but you get to have a normal life. Like you get to go to school with your
You get to
friends
be like
and
a real boy.
yeah, the real yeah. Like
A real boy.
you get to go learn to talk to a girl and be a human
No.
being and or talk to a guy if you're into that or whatever it is. It's 21st century, but
Oh
you know what
my
it's like. I
God.
have a female goalie on my team who's very good too.
No,
I have
but
a goalie.
yeah.
She's she's so good when she is on. She is unbelievable. Like she's better than half the male goalies around.
Oh, for
She's
sure.
awesome.
I
She's
could
so
that.
good.
Yeah, that'd be that's
So
awesome. I hope.
uh,
No,
so
the whole thing
yeah.
gets weird, right? Like it's
No, I don't know what happened in the hockey world, but something flipped where if you have to pay a bunch of money to get there. If you don't, you're not going to go anywhere. And
right. And it's like, when did that happen? Like, wasn't
it's
it like if
crazy.
you're good enough, you make it, not
Yeah,
about how much money you pay? Because
exactly.
there's a
Or
lot of
yeah,
parents that want to pay money.
yeah,
And it's like,
exactly.
well, then you got all these people that are like, well, here, let's have your money. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, what
or it's
about the
like,
kids? Like, when did
and
it
I,
be?
yeah, and you hear stories of like families whose kids may not be the best player on the team, but they're maybe good enough to make it, maybe not. But the family's got a lot of money, so they're like, well, we'll pay my son, and then maybe we'll sponsor another kid, and you can get this kid on a free ride.
And then
It's
all
like,
of it.
and that you can't do that at my level because we're run by BC Hockey, where you can only pull from like I can only pull from 4 cities. Like I can only pull from 4 zones, and we don't beat these academies yet, but we give them a fucking game. We compete, and that's all I care about. Do we compete and we battle? That's all I care
Yeah,
about.
that exactly.
Like,
And you know what?
and
Playing against the best ones that or whatever
yeah,
it is that pay 25 grand, those players that are grinding it out, that are figuring out a way to
yeah,
beat the rich
yeah.
boys, they'll be the players.
And like that's the thing I try to sell for my program is like you got to go and you got to earn it every day. Like there's no entitlement, there's nothing given to you, especially when you go to juniors. They don't. If say you get drafted by Seattle Thunderbirds or the Vancouver Giants, like I don't care where the fuck you came from. If you don't earn it the day you get there, you're not like they'll delist you, they'll cut you, they'll throw another kid in there.
What
Like
it's
if you
it,
don't,
it's very true with what
same
happened
in
to
and
me.
it's same in it's same in the O, right? Like
It was the same when I went to pro. Like I had
yeah,
been at Western Michigan, where like
no,
by the end of it, there was like, yeah, you're gonna be first line everything, and you're
no,
gonna get put
and
in the right spots.
yeah,
And then I get to pro, and it's like, no, we don't even know who you are, and we're like,
yeah.
huh, oh,
Yeah. And like when I went to Texas my first year pro, and that's what I talked about, like guys like Kevin Baker, Leon Hayward, Brandon Cote, Mike Bayrak, like I remember I was like in the car and I was like, I'm on a fucking NHL deal. Like I should be playing more. I should do this. I should do that. And finally, Leon Hayward, who won the Kelly Cup, MVP of the fucking playoffs, pulls the car over and goes, Riley, you're 20 years old. You can't fucking skate. You're fucking terrible. You're tough as fuck. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, or get the fuck out of my car. I was like, and he's like, or you and I can work every day and I will fucking turn you into a hockey player where you get to play 10 years. And I was like, okay. And we talked and we sat down and it was the best thing for me because I was thought
Well,
I was
you need
entitled.
those guys,
and
right?
the guy's like, Riley, you fucking had 2 points your whole career in the Western League. Like, shut the fuck up. You're terrible. And I don't know. I was like, oh, it's an NHL deal. Is this? And it was that. And he just put me in my place in not a malicious way. It was because he knew the type of guy I was, and it was if it wasn't for guys like him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
I couldn't agree more. It's all about the people you meet along the way.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you need to hear things you don't want to hear to get you to where you need to be. So
yeah, no doubt.
So
yeah, I agree. Well, what do you got for me before we shut her down?
Well, Wally.
What? I got nothing here. I got to piss bad.
Nothing?
I haven't pissed on the pod in so long that I kind of want to drop the headphones and take a piss while you have to talk, just because I haven't done it so long. Because I have to piss that bad.
You can go pee quick, and I'll entertain these fans with a couple stories about the goat.
Okay, you ready?
Like
you ready?
Right. Okay,
are you ready?
Okay.
Please tell me some Joey Martin stories while I go pee outside of my shed.
Okay. Great Joey Martin story. We're literally in Toledo in a tornado watch where it went from a tornado watch to all of us sitting outside of our apartments with like 150 beers, drinking as a team, watching this huge storm come in, and it was absolutely incredible. And he was one of the ringleaders. And it's just a great story. That guy is the ultimate GOAT, and I think all the Cardiff fans know how lucky they have to have him wear a Devils uniform. So, and someone like Wally, like we know, got to actually play with him. So it was quite incredible. And look at this guy running back in right now. Quite hilarious. And he's back. Look at that.
You still talking?
Oh, no, I'm done. I just made fun of you a little bit. We're good to go, brother.
Oh, dear. Shit.
No, I just gave a good Joey Martin story. And for me, Wally, do you ever have any regrets in hockey? That's my biggest thing.
To be honest, I it's weird, right? Like when you look back on it all, I see the guys that play in the NHL that make millions of dollars, and I see how stressed out they are. I see the guys that play for the Leafs, like there's Austin Matthews that like can kind of deal with it because he can kind of deal with it, just who he is. But like most of them, you see them, they're pale, they're not happy, they don't enjoy life, they're not having fun with what they're doing. Yeah, they're making millions, but do they love hockey? I don't know. What I got to do, what I did in my career, I got to like have fun. I enjoyed life, and like, yeah, I didn't make a lot of money, and I'll figure that out now. We'll try and figure that out, right? By raffling off a jersey at aleshockeytales.com that we've never seen. We're pretty sure it's getting made at Presto Crest here in Kincardine, and we're going to start raffling that off, even though it's not made yet. So you can make money later on, but I'd rather have fun playing hockey than be a pale guy that's unhappy with his life and what's going on.
Yeah. And same with me, man. Like the people you meet, and even like you and I, we met by chance encounter. Look at us, we're fucking sitting here in the shed talking to me about hockey. Like it's unbelievable. Like it's awesome. And,
but like honestly, and it's like it's weird, right? Like the spider web, and it's like it's like the good people know the good people. And as soon as I saw Joey Martin, I'm like, well, he's right up there in my world. And it's like, well, if you guys are good buddies, then I think I like you.
Exactly. And the next thing you know, you're doing the worm on the middle of the dance floor. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing? Holy shit.
He is overweight.
No, that's me. That's me now, brother. I'm a monster now.
So how
Oh,
much do
monster.
you weigh? What's over 3 bills?
Well, I'm probably like 330 right now. So it's not bad. I'd say so.
330.
Oh, yeah.
330.
I
And
don't
this has
look it,
been
though.
another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with
I drank-
Emmo and Wally.
Let's go.